Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
We don't normally do this, but this is one of the first, if not the first, Kanpai Cast that actually falls on Halloween. So just to do something special. Though, unfortunately, we're not doing a spooky episode because we've got the 3-episode review to do.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure our entire audience would murder us if we delayed
for yet another week.
Yeah. So, but enough with the that. Let's move on to housekeeping. Not a whole lot to say, but you know, like, comment, subscribe. Shit, we didn't do the topic. We didn't put the topic in the Discord. The thing for people to suggest.
Oh no!
Yeah, we didn't.
Fuck,
I'll make a note of that.
Yeah, we got it. Oh shit. Yeah, professionalism. Rock on. Yeah, so
I cast blank Xeno's memory.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube malarkey, as Nasuth has written here. But on a minor note, I kind of would like to toot my own horn, only because for a while, so as the months, the weeks, the years have gone by, Kanpai Cast has gotten relatively larger in terms of the fundamental system as a whole, right? It would take Nasuth and I a minimum of like 20 minutes to update deckboard, which is what we use to universally control the whole thing across all of us and everything. 20 minutes to just update it. So just like if we've got new shows in there, yeah, and we'd have to, and if anything went wrong, we'd have to rerun the update, and it would take like, oh, we can't record for the next 20 minutes because we got this. Damn, I managed to get it to what's called update in 50 seconds.
It still sometimes throws an error for me where I have to rerun it, but yeah, that's way better than waiting 5 minutes for it to come back with an error and then have to rerun it for another 20 minutes.
Yes, yeah. So you know, I just wanted to
it is incredible.
Say that we are making improvements.
It's real magic.
Yep, and if anyone has any requests or for change or anything like that, we'll welcome. You know, we welcome all recommendations. I mean, hell, the only reason we got the audio version of the cast is because someone said, "I want to be able to listen to it off of YouTube." I'm like, God damn it!
That's true.
Right.
But we do appreciate you guys that do listen to the audio version. Also, we'd really like you to come on over and drop a like on the YouTube, just, you know, to be a
even if you don't watch it. Even if you
help us out. Help us out against the almighty algorithm, you know.
Although you should be coming here for the memes.
Oh,
you know,
memes.
even if you listen to the audio version, you should, because you don't get the memes on the audio version because they're visual.
Yep. Sometimes they're video. But hilariously, right, talking about memes, first off, you can suggest your own memes to be shown in the channel. You can even make your own show by going to the Discord, find the meme submissions channel, and just upload them. We pick 6 or we have someone else pick 6 weekly for us, so we don't actually see what the memes are until we react live to them. So, and all memes that are submitted do end up going into the catalog. So if there's more, like, you know, people can actually see them as well. Right. With no further ado, should we get on with the review?
I think it's time to start the reviews.
Right. So
24 3-episode rule.
Just to highlight, hell hath doth frozen over on this All Hallow of Days, because Nasuth has more shows to review than the rest of us.
Surprisingly.
Indeed.
Very surprising.
Just by one, but still.
Yeah, but still, it's like, you know, I mean, what was it? Thaylien and I did like 9 last season, and then you fucking did 5.
10.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I had 10, but you guys borrowed the other ones. You reviewed them because you were...
Yeah,
to be fair, one of you could have taken Dan from me, and then you would have 8.
Could have.
Yeah. Right. So go on, Nasuth. You start.
Right. I'm just gonna go down these from top to bottom, because no picking special ones. We're just gonna go through these. So the first one will be 365 Days to the Wedding. This was a rom-com that I picked up because it had kind of an interesting premise, and I'm like, I don't usually watch rom-coms. Let's give it a try. Maybe it'll surprise me and be good. Like that one last season, How to Become Ordinary. Was it last season? Yeah. How to Become Ordinary. And it is interesting, but it's not for me. I dropped it after 2 episodes. But that said, I do feel like I can still give this a score for how other people would enjoy it, because there is still quality there. It's just not for me. So I think this is actually probably a 3 or 4 star acquired. I'm gonna give it a 3-star acquired taste, because I think somebody who does like rom-coms will really like this. The basic premise is these 2 people working at a like a travel company, like a travel agency, right? And they find out that somebody is going to be sent to a new office that they're opening in Alaska, right? And nobody wants to go to Alaska. It is cold. It is dark. There's not much to do. And so these 2 people, they say that they're prioritizing people who aren't married, who don't have families, because it's easier to do that. You're not splitting up a couple or anything. And so these 2 co-workers, who barely speak to each other, who are both very socially awkward, come up with a plan to pretend that they're getting married. And then
as you do, and then
comedy ensues, because obviously the other people find out about it, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna throw you a what kind of party? Engagement party. We're gonna come over to your house and ask for advice on how to find a woman, because they're also socially awkward," that sort of thing. Although they also think that some people are gonna figure out their secret, and that also creates shenanigans. So if you're into shenanigans and you like that kind of slice of lifey stuff, there were 2 moments that genuinely made me laugh. Right? Okay. Episode 1, the surprise engagement celebration that I just brought up. The female MC who's half hidden by the screen. There she is. They go to like a karaoke bar, and she's like, "Don't worry, I've got this. I'll figure out how. I'll make this the life of the party." And so she gets super drunk, and then starts singing in the karaoke. But her singing is so bad that it's like the entire place is cursed by an evil spirit because of it. That's pretty funny. And then later on in the second episode, the guy's that's the guy on screen right now. His father appears out of nowhere and describes what a wedding in. So somehow he's heard about the wedding or the engagement, even though it's supposed to be a fake engagement, right? And he's like, "Oh, my son can't get married without following these strict traditions, or it'll bring dishonor upon our family." And because he lives sort of in a country area, the way he describes it is just like so overblown. There's like, "Oh, we've got a feast for 2 days, and we're gonna invite about 200 people because it's everyone in the town," and that sort of thing. Those both really made me laugh, I gotta say. The characters are cute enough. The woman they both get excited about their passions. For her, it's looking at maps and then going out and exploring places, which is very nerdy. I like it. And for the guy, it's talking to his cat. Like, he found this stray cat, and he just like talks to it like a real person, and that sort of thing. And yeah, that's about it. Kind of pepper in some natural character or natural relationship growth. It's clear that these 2 are going to end up with each other by the end. Like, it's already clear. So yeah, if you like slice of life, like I said, go watch it. It's just not for me.
How would you feel about the animation? Like, the animation kind of looks a bit generic. It's like, you'll often see a lot of like side shots or straight on shots. You won't typically see the 45-degree angle, 3/4 angles or things like that.
I think that's just the screenshots that it happened to grab. I don't know. The animation felt fine to me. Felt serviceable. I didn't notice any bad stuff.
That's fine. As long as that's the way it be do. Yeah. So this may be something I pick up. I don't know.
I think you might enjoy it. I'm not sure, but I think you might.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So that was 365 days to the wedding.
Yep. Right.
Indeed.
Thaylien.
So I'm going to start off with a fairly easy one for me, just to get it out of the way. It's going to be Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War, The Conflict. And this one I'm putting in at an acquired taste 5-star. Not much to actually say about Bleach at this point. The quality is consistent, the action's fantastic, the story is ongoing, so that's why I'm putting it in the acquired taste, not higher. You have to have watched the rest of Bleach to appreciate this. But as far as a shonen anime can get, this is one of the best. This
the real scary thing is
3 series.
The real scary thing about Halloween this year is that they put all the good shows in autumn instead of summer.
Yeah, it's true. No, so it is Bleach. It is the updated thing from the original run. It's finishing off the story, and we're getting more and more escalation of both the plot and the powers. So it's hitting some really high notes. I mean, the early point in this series, not so much, because it's finishing off a couple of the fights from earlier. And, beyond that, if you don't like Bleach, then you're not going to like this show. This season. That's as far as it goes, really.
Oh, now it's working. Never mind. Oh, it worked for like half a second, and then it stopped.
Technical difficulties, gentlemen and ladies out there.
Oh, now it's fucking working.
Now it's working. Never mind. We're not pausing.
See, we're not going to do that. But yeah, no, I'm coming in under time because there's not much more you could say about Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War that I haven't already gushed about for the last 2 seasons.
Okay, so here's because I'm actually in a very similar boat, and I don't feel that it's fair to do disservice to the audience. So with because this is the 3rd season of 1,000 Year Blood War? Right.
Yes, of 1,000 Year Blood War.
Okay, the first 2 seasons, do you know how long they were? Were they 2 cores or 1 core?
Oh, single core.
So they're both single core, right?
13 episode, 12 episode runs.
Okay, cool. Do you feel that they particularly achieve a lot during the events of 1,000 Year Blood War? Yeah?
Yes.
So
there is a conflict. The 1,000 Year Blood War has been building in the background of the show without us knowing it. It's only when we go back and look at the parts of the show that it reminds us of, in little flashback things, that you realize, oh no, this was foreshadowed. It's a gigantic invasion of Soul Society by the new forces of the Quincy's, who are against Soul Society purely because the current world that they live in, the balance of Soul Society, the living world, and the 2 little side worlds we have, which is Undou and the barrier world, they exist in a balance of souls. But Quincy destroy that balance by killing off hollows completely. They don't let them recycle into the system.
Yeah.
And so the Quincy people were wiped out nearly. The king of the Quincy's.
So, well, no, sorry to cut you off, but one of the big questions I have is it worth piling through, was it like 200 odd episodes of Bleach, including all the filler garbage?
Well,
to get to 1,000
filler garbage was the Bound arc, and that you could skip the Bound arc. It doesn't mean anything.
I also consider like the whole like just standing around doing nothing, lots of brooding, lots of So it's similar to One Piece's.
Yeah, there is
filler.
a bit of filler in the brooding.
Right.
Yes,
it's because obviously they kept up with the manga the entire time. They didn't take any breaks. They had to remain in the zeitgeist and as a result, they overloaded the audience. And like, what the hell happened? I haven't got a fucking clue. Right? I had 64 episodes of screaming and Bankai and you know.
Whoa! So it's just in Dragon Ball.
There's surprisingly little screaming in this. There's a lot of angry yelling, but not a lot of power-up screams.
Could you start 1,000-Year Blood War cold and not actually? No, you have to watch the original.
Yeah, that's why I've put it in the acquired taste.
Okay, that's
otherwise,
fair.
the quality and presentation, the way this is done, 1,000-Year Blood War would be a must-watch without that.
Right, that's fair. That is entirely fair.
I love how we all have different ways of like justifying whether you should, like whether the stuff that comes before does or doesn't affect the score. Anyway,
yeah,
we've had that episode already.
I feel it really does.
My dude, so. I'm about to smash that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what we got next?
So I'm gonna do Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon Season 5.
Nice.
Right?
This is gonna be a must watch.
And this is a must watch 4-star. Right? I'm not bloody kidding.
I can beat
this. This is well, this isn't a competition as of right? But I watched the 4th episode and now I'm jonesing to talk to people about it. But no one I know is actually watching season 5 of DAIMA. And it's like I've reached out to people that I rarely ever talk to on the off chance they're actually watching season 5.
Is there a dub for season 4?
Yes.
There is. Maybe I'll have to catch up on that so I can be your. Anyway, continue.
So I'm not going to tell you anything that happens during the course of season 5. I'm giving you absolute fuck all. What I'm going to do is sell you on DAIMA itself because so few people watch it, right? DAIMA is an amazing fantasy show, right? The premise is that gods have descended to the realm and are creating familia, right? Or these clans, these families.
Yes, clans are closer thing to it.
Yeah, and
gangs,
guilds,
gangs,
and there's this strange dungeon that has appeared effectively in the middle of the world, and they built a town around it. I can't remember the name of the town.
And a tower on top of it.
They built the tower on top of it because basically the gods have kind of coalesced around it. The world building behind DAIMA is intense, right? You actually get to see the events of what happened outside in the real world. You get to see events of, the calamities that monsters have wrought. There are, I think, 3 big monsters that only heroes can kill. Like, we're talking like Herculean heroes. And realistically, no one's called a hero, everyone's called an adventurer. No one has that talent that it would take to kill one of these monsters. Like, there's one which is referred to on occasion, that's a dragon, right? And this dragon has wrought such destruction that, like, it's the pillar that drives another one of the characters. And that's another brilliant part of the series. Characters are brought in and established, defined. They all have an opportunity to get properly developed, as opposed to being like, oh, well, you're just an instrument that existed in season 1 and never came. Nope, they came back for season 3.
They also have a realistic reason for, like, what? Sorry to butt in. They have like a realistic reason for why the gods aren't just out there being overpowered and killing everything, themselves.
Yeah.
It's like they have
they're
to
shackled,
create an avatar
right?
to be in this world, and that means they can't use their powers. And
There's
No.
also
cool.
limitations because if a god or goddess goes down into the dungeon, it can give strange results, apparently.
Yeah,
Triggering off enemies that were not supposed to revive, or they come back early, or
Yeah. So
Now,
I like that.
One thing that really confused me for the longest time, and it wasn't until the end of season 3 did I actually truly understand this. They talk about levels, like floors of the dungeon, and they actually are in a descending order. So when they say like level 18, it's effectively level
they're not going up the
18.
tower; they're going down the dungeon.
Yeah, so that confused me for the longest time. I thought effectively the dungeon was like the core of this tower, and they built around the actual dungeon, the pretty tower sort of thing, and they've got all their shops and things. No. The dungeon actually descends down, and we don't even have a clue how many layers down it goes. It's an absolutely phenomenal series. Season 1 is by far the shittest of the seasons, and it's still really good, right?
There are some harem elements in it, but
very few.
The same way that Mushoku Tensei is an isekai, and that you shouldn't hold that against it. This has harem stuff in it, and you shouldn't really hold that against it.
And I feel that so many people out there they've watched like the start of it, and it's like, it's okay. It's slow. It's like Konosuba, right? If you can't get past the first 6 episodes of Konosuba, you don't give it the opportunity to start performing as well as it could. Same with Danmachi. If you don't let season 1 come to its healthy conclusion, you're not giving it the opportunity to. But dear fucking gods, episode 4 of season 5, and I'm like, I need to talk to someone. I need to talk to someone right now. No one is watching this. This is killing me. I'm dying inside. I need to talk to someone. But yes,
I think I might have to catch up now that Xeno said this, just so you can have someone to talk to.
Oh my god,
yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Oh my! And the best thing is, like, I've rewatched the show, I think 4 or 5 times, maybe even more, and I'm still picking up tiny little things, tiny little hints throughout the entire series that I never picked up the previous time. And yeah, fuck, I love this series so much, and I can't believe that, I'm only 4 episodes in, and I've jumped it so high into a must-watch. When before I would say you'd have to watch the first 4 seasons. You have to watch the first 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Do it. Right. Let's move on.
Right.
Go on, Nasuth.
So my
cast watching the whole of Danmachi.
Well.
Yes, that was Danmachi, or is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon?
Season 5.
So season 5, yes. So my next one, the Japanese name is Chikyuu no Undou ni Tsuite, which is an incredible name, but the English name is Orb on the Movements of the Earth. Now, this is actually starting. This is an original anime. As far as I know, it's not based on anything. It might be based on a manga. I can't read the tag. Anyway,
it is based on a manga.
Based on a manga,
yes.
Okay. But like, I'm giving this an acquired taste 5-star. This is a very strong start, especially if you have even a passing interest in astronomy or the birth of heliocentrism. And if you don't know what heliocentrism is, essentially it is part of our current model. It's technically barycentric, but heliocentrism is close enough, which is that the Earth goes around the sun rather than everything going around the Earth. And so this is sort of
globe earther.
Yeah. This is he said okay, globe earther, because flat earthers and globe earthers and blah blah blah. Technically, you can be a geocentrist and still be a globe earther. Anyway, this is thinly veiled fictionalization of the story of Galileo. It's not actually the story of Galileo. Our character is not named Galileo. As far as I know, Galileo doesn't feature anywhere in this, although he may later. But you've still got, like, they're in the Kingdom of P, which is clearly Italy. Literally just the letter P, not like PEA or PEE or anything, just the letter P. And you've got the church, which is clearly the Catholic Church. Our main character is named Rafal, but it still follows the same general idea. This kid is smart. This kid is like almost sociopathically smart, right? He's hiding in plain sight how intelligent he is, and using that to take advantage of other people and make them all love and adore him and that sort of thing. But then he runs into the idea that the Earth may not be the center of everything, and it just because he's always had this interest in astronomy, and tracking the stars on his own and all that stuff. And this just completely rewrites his entire life. The moment he hears that and he thinks about it for 2 seconds, he's like, holy crap, suddenly all the movements of everything make more sense. Yeah. Oh.
Where do you play chocolate? Second, I want to say something.
Yes, of course.
It's set in Poland.
What?
It's set in Poland.
Poland! Oh, that would be why it's the Kingdom of P. Okay.
Yeah, if it was just the Kingdom of P, then, anywhere that lives there, I'd say you're in trouble.
Moving on.
But and so it also tries to walk you through how they come to these conclusions. It tries to give you the ideas and the theories behind heliocentrism without just sitting you down and giving you a math lesson.
So it's propaganda then.
Yes, it's totally propaganda. I'd like a little bit more attention on things like the astrolabe, but maybe that'll still happen. I like that the Inquisitor hates his job because it bores him, not actually because he has a moral problem with it. It's exactly what you might expect from somebody in that position in that time. But he loves to help out, like in the real world, in the outside world, when he's not doing his Inquisitor job. He loves helping little kids. Like, he thinks it's a bad thing to see a starving child or something like that. And it sort of shows you how religious fervor can overcome other natural empathies. It feels that one of the drawbacks to me was it feels a little unreasonable for this kid to be as articulate and composed as he is compared to an adult like the Inquisitor. But and the writing's a little bit obvious in its criticisms of the church, but I'm all right with that because it has so much flair. It presents it in such a good way that I kind of just don't care. And I also did not. There's a twist early on that I really did not expect, and I'm not going to give it away because it was that good of a twist. So yeah, if you're at all interested in historical stuff or astronomy, check out Orb on the Movements of the Earth.
Cool, indeed. Yeah, and someday soon they will discover that the world revolves around me. So,
Thaylien, you're not that fat. Come on.
No.
What?
Sadly,
I was not expecting that.
I have got a few years to catch up to Xeno, so.
Oh wow. Anyway, let's move on.
I'm gonna go on to one that's kind of let me down this time around, which is A Loner Life in Another World.
Now,
Loner Life in Another World is, to me, a nothing special one.
That's low.
I ran into a bad show.
It is. It could be a lot worse, but the way they've presented this is just nothing about it is standing out. The premise is slightly inventive. I think I might have gone in with higher hopes because somebody wrote a much better fiction about loner life in another world than this presented. the basic thing is that our man is a pronounced loner in real life, not a neat or a hikikomori. He's not trying to stay home all the time. He just wants to be left alone. He's there in class reading a book, and in the middle of their class, while the teacher's not there between classes, a magic circle opens up in the floor, right? And everybody's going, "Oh my god, what is this?" The nerds are going, "Oh my god, this is it. This is an isekai." And he's like, "No thanks, I'm out," and tries to leave. But the door's locked on him, and so he like a short montage of him trying to kick the door open, throwing a chair at the window, trying to go, break the glass. And finally, he climbs up the cupboards and goes out through the false ceiling. It's like,
oh my god!
There's no way it could catch me up here. And then the magic circle appears on the floor of that place as well, in the ceiling space. And so his delay means that he's actually last to reach the interim space, where a god, an old man, god of this world, wasn't expecting so many people. And so they've all picked their skills from his great big list of skills that you can choose to go to another world with. It turns out it's first come, first served. So he looks over the list and there's a whole load of stuff like neat, like master of none, the jack of all trades, master of none. The dummy, literally the dummy trait, which nobody picked. And he turns to the old man and said, look, none of these are suitable for going to another world with. And in his desperation, the old man just says, okay, you could have all of them. Gives them all of them and sends him to the other world. And much like Kazuma, his stat in the other world is luck. But then it goes back to standard bland isekai by having him discover all these, slightly loser powers combined to make something overpowered. So at level 3, he's able to use a stick and what he calls packing magic, which allows you to pack magic into an object, to take down goblins in a single hit. Whereas his classmates that he meets are like level 16 and struggling with the fights. But he doesn't know that because the first few episodes are him basically being alone and enjoying his life alone, avoiding his classmates and not actually, I think because his main ability is the loner ability, and it levels him up by avoiding people. Right.
So does he passively level up?
No, he actively levels up.
Okay.
And in fact, you also level up from he also levels up from the Master of None trait, which is the Jack of all trades. If he uses packing magic to pack somebody else's magic into a space and then use it himself, he gains the ability to use that kind of magic. So lightning magic, if somebody's using it, and he packs it into a space and then uses it himself, he gains the ability to use it from then on. And so there's no limitations on him at all. In fact, by the third episode, he's earth-shaped himself an entire fucking house inside a cave that the girls in his class discover when they're in trouble and basically kick him out of.
They kick him out of his own house?
No, he volunteers to stay outside in a tent while all the girls are using the bathroom and sleeping on the beds. Volunteers, yes. And there's a little bit of weird theming where the delinquents in the class decide that they're going to use their abilities to kind of form a harem out of the girls. And, the nerds get together with the others and get their class rep uses their sealing power to seal that particular set of abilities away. Is the
main character Blandy McBland self-insert protagonist?
Kind of. He's really selfish. He's a bit bland, but all he wants in life is just to enjoy his alone time and get away from people. And so being dragged into things is mildly funny when he gets dragged into things, but that's about it.
Right.
So
we move on then.
No, nothing special. That was.
Are you going to stop watching it?
I don't think so. It has a little potential, but I don't mind if this is my worst one of the season.
Okay.
He's not so overloaded with shows that he has to drop it.
Fair. But I mean, like, I very much am of the opinion, like, if I'm not entertained by something, I'd rather drop it and go find something else.
Fair enough.
So, and I will be doing that. Right. So, I think I'm going to talk to you about... Is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon season 5 again? Because seriously, you need to know. That's how much you need to watch it. Right, so I'm actually going to move on to...
He's going to talk about a bit of Gushing Over Magical Girls season 2 confirmed. Season
no,
2.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Sorry,
I'm actually going to turn to you as I talk to you. I'm going to talk to you about a surprise moment, which is You Are Miss Servant. Right?
Oh, okay.
This was a very big surprise in the quality of show, right? So I'm going to give this. This is difficult, this one, because I always think I understand where it's going, and then it just does a complete 180 on me, or a 90-degree turn, or whatever you want to call it, handbrake turn. What do I want to give this?
The screenshots I saw for it, while you think about it, kind of made me think of Maid Guy, coming to Maid Guy, only with an actual maid instead of a maid guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 4-star acquired taste, right? I was pleasantly surprised by this narrative. So the whole idea is that we have a loner student who is living on in a house on his own. The house part is a bit like, this seems a bit much, and it's because, you know, he goes to a school and, you know, he needs to be close by the school, so instead of actually having to have this insane commute, it's cheaper for him to live closer to the school alone, sort of. And just randomly, haphazardly, this maid just turns up at his doorstep and is like, you know, I want to come work for you. And he turns around and says, well, you know, I can't really take on a maid. It's a bit awkward. I'm living here on my own. I don't really know you, blah, 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 blah. And he kind of goes in, she kind of goes into detail of like who she is and things. And she was an assassin, right? And basically her master said, go to this address and be a maid, right? You know, live life as a maid sort of thing. Now, you would think that this could ultimately fall into territories of same joke repeated again and again and again, like with Jahi. But it's really not. In the first episode, he comes to terms with the idea of, like, you know, this helping out this person who's trying to be more than what she's been built to be. So he does end up taking her on as a maid. She is starting to learn more and more about the world itself. The second episode is about dogs, right? So they end up finding this abandoned puppy, like, in the street, and they adopt the dog. But she's terrified of dogs, right? So, you know, she's trying to come to terms with it, and they're trying to look after it and things. Third episode is about them going to... Oh, God, what's the name of the damn thing? Some festivals, right? And learning about, like, you know, other Japanese culture, and learning about his sister, right? They're introducing more and more characters. Something that Jahi just completely failed to do dramatically. Then the fourth episode came around, and she's enrolled at his school. Yeah,
but
as
she's
his cousin.
Isn't she?
We don't technically know, because we don't know when she was born, or she doesn't know when she was born. It comes up as a plot point. It's like, well, how old are you? It's like, I don't know. I don't know what a birthday is. I've never had a birthday before. He named her. She never had a name before. It was just Miss May.
What the fuck?
Right? Yeah. So, like, she is basically a child soldier that was been fine-tuned into a weapon to the point of she doesn't know how to be human anymore. She doesn't know how to interact with people. It is funny. It is entertaining.
So,
It's the plot of the fable.
Would you class her as, I was going to say, is it more Sosuke Sagara, but with a bit of charm?
So, for everyone's benefit, he's referring to Sosuke Sagara from Full Metal Panic. No, I think Naz... Well, I would actually say it's a mix between, as Naz has said, the Fable, right? Mm-hmm. And Sosuke Sagara from Full Metal Panic, right? In woman form, right? Which is
immediately more appealing to the fan base.
Which is immediately more appealing to the fan base. It is weirdly endearing, right? There is something weird about it that is actually genuinely endearing as a show. Right? And I thought I was going to drop it had it not been for the end of the 3rd episode where she's in a school uniform in his class transferring in. And I'm like, where is this show going? I'm really intrigued. I want to keep going. So this is
turn to a high school romance, and then it's going to be like, is he going to come back here and say,
it could
the pass? This is shit.
High school show.
Well, it could, Nasuth. It could, but like, I thought it was just going to jahi it up. It's like, I am mismade. Yeah. I am mismade. Like, I don't know why they translated it as Miss Servant when it's clearly made in the Japanese title. It's like, what the hell? Anyway, that's the point. Right. Should we move on?
Oh shoot, it's my turn again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah, it is. It's yours.
Oh, it's Dandadan, which we've all
You're
watched.
You're actually doing Dandadan.
Speaking of where the fuck is this show going?
Yeah.
So this is the first of the must-watch 5 stars that I have. Just to get that out of the way right away. This is, I'm 100% on board. This is Science Saru, easily Science Saru's best work. I would actually put this on par with Trigger, right? In terms of quality and humor, and there's no way you can tell me otherwise.
Random situationship, yes.
So you can definitely see a little bit of Devilman Crybaby's aesthetic in terms of the monsters, especially Baba-chan,
yes.
Or whatever her name
Turbo
is. Granny? Yeah, Turbo Granny.
Yes.
When she starts like doing the body horror through our main male character, you can definitely see some Devilman Crybaby influences in a good way. Like, it works here. As opposed to Xeno, who would say it sucks in Devilman Crybaby.
It really does.
So much comedy and action mixed together brilliantly. The relationship between our 2 main characters is like, I don't understand, and it makes me laugh. Like, her obsession with this actor who just happens to share the same name with our main character, and they both act like shy. Like, her obsession with that it seems to make no sense. But the way they use it is so good.
Yes. Did you remember that they're walking down the hallway, and she says, "So this name," and she like kind of goes, "Oh."
Yes.
Off camera.
And she's like, "You can never use that name again. We're not calling you that."
Yeah. I love little touches, like when she's telling the stories of how her grandmother treated her. In the flashback, she seems to be this motherly older woman with a Miko outfit on.
Yes, and then we see the real her
granddaughter off. Then we see the real and it's like a screenshot.
Oh, I really didn't take too many notes on this because I kind of don't want to explain too much of it. I kind of want you to just go watch it yourself.
Yes,
but
it hasn't stopped.
Yeah,
I will say, like, everything Nasuth has said about Dandadan is accurate. I agree with everything. Science Saru have really knocked it out of the park. There are some instances where the animation in the first episode, I've only seen it in the first episode, is a bit off. But like they do weird things with perspective, but at the same time, it's not the worst I've seen. It's not fucking Devilman Crybaby, right? They actually put fucking shading on this shit, which is just like, oh my god, they've learned. The nice thing is that the comedy isn't truly in your face comedy like in Konosuba, right?
It's a little more subtle and dry.
It is so much more subtle and dry because it is about the conflict of interaction between these two awkward people, right? I love the tongue-in-cheek nature of, I can't remember the female protagonist's name.
Yeah, I don't remember their names yet.
But I remember Okarun. But yeah, it is a very interesting series, and Dan has been widely acclaimed as an absolutely top tier manga. I am very interested to see where this show goes. I think it's getting 2 cores, but there's a gap in between them. So we've got like the first 12 episodes now. We'll have a 2 season gap. And then the next 2, the next core, or it might be like a 1 season gap. But still, it's they utilize CG extremely well. The intro music is catchy as fuck, as would be indicated by pop culture on the internet. The change in perspectives
is fun. The fact that these 2 characters have just been kind of shoved together. It, whether they want to be or not is, but they like stand up to it, like they grow to that situation. But what's best about it is the fact that yes, they stand up to it, but they did this to themselves. Yes,
because of their teenage obnoxious
desire to be right.
No, I'm not gonna shift my point of view. You need to shift your point of view. It's funny. It is
aliens
really,
aren't
really
real. No, ghosts aren't real. Oh yeah, want to bet?
Yeah. Hey, this
one use an alien hotspot, and you need a ghost hotspot.
It's
the one who sees it believes first wins.
I think Dan honestly is contender for anime of the year.
So Thaylien, I'm gonna guess you gave it a 4-star must-watch.
Yes.
What
about you, Zeno?
I'd give it a 5-star must-watch. Seriously. Like, I cannot agree with you more. This is one of the rare instances where we are 100% aligned.
All aligned, yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that was Dan. Let's move on to Thaylien's.
Okay. Let's see. What am I going for now? How about the healer who was banished from his party is actually the strongest? And
I think it's that one.
The Japanese name is Partikara Tsuihou.
Yeah, got it.
Sareta Sono Chiyushi Jitsu wa Saikyou ni Tsuki. Yes. And yeah, I think it's the cold getting to me. Anyway, and this is a nothing special 3-star.
Oh
man, Thaylien got all the crap jokes this time.
Yeah, kind of. Although as these are kind of my 2 lowest. There is one more nothing special, but it has the potential to be higher. So I'm keeping a look at. No, actually, no. There's another nothing special. Yeah, no, I've got a lot of nothing special this season.
Oh, you said nothing special 2-star, yeah?
3.
3-star.
Yeah.
Cool.
So in this one, it is a standard thing of a character with an apparently weak ability getting kicked from his main team because they say he's weak. He's holding them back, and in theory, he's not, and everyone else can see it. But in actuality, he is kind of weak. He's actually he's a healer who only has the basic heal ability. He doesn't have any cleanse poisons, doesn't do anything else. But for the sake of his party, he trained up everything else he could. So he learned swordsmanship, he learned movement abilities, he learned other kinds of magic theory to try and become more useful in general. And so and it's all because when he was younger, he was often used by other parties as like bait. So they'd throw him out in front of monsters to make him run around, so that they could get through a room or something. And there's only one standout thing from his past which has come back, which is he tried to save the life of a small girl whose family had been attacked by a group of goblins. And he was able to heal her with his singular ability and hold out long enough for some knights to come by and save them fully. Now it turns out that girl actually grew up and has kept her promise. She has come to find him and form a party with him, which was convenient timing from him being just kicked out. And it's now adventures ensue with his talented rookie adventurer and her obvious crush, the healer that everyone calls useless. It's a good start, but then you get to these moments in the show that just drag it down. Like, the monsters don't actually seem like they're any threat. As flashbacks to the reason that our guy got kicked out, which is that his party tried to take on a Hydra and failed. The wizard failed to cast the magic, and so they were being pressed. The healer wasn't able to purge the toxins from the Hydra bite, and the arsehole warrior who's leading isn't strong enough to take on his actual role of chopping off Hydra heads. The only head they managed to chop off was in fact the healer, who managed to get in there and save one of their lives by chopping off the head of one of the Hydra heads. So they kick him out, and what I'm getting at is the Hydra. The second they stop attacking, it stops doing anything and just watches them go. And it happens again and again in the show. They confront a ghostly Reaper type enemy that they can't actually attack because it's ghostly, and so they come up with a plan to lure it into a special attack. But while they do this, while they're talking about it, the Reaper's just floating there, like, hello? Do either of you remember I'm here? Are you going to do anything? And there's no threat. It just kind of stands there. And it's that kind of just divorce from any kind of threat or action it just drags this whole thing down. It's almost like a slow life, but that's trying to be an action. And that just doesn't work. So, no, it earns its nothing special. But in presentation and setting, it is better than my previous one. So, yeah.
Is it better than the one with the tank? The shield guy?
Oh, vastly. That was a pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least there's that.
Yeah, that one. So, and also it has a story that makes sense so far.
Just not a very fun one.
Oh yeah, and better voice acting.
Yeah.
And better writing. And okay, honestly, that's why there's the difference between pass versus nothing special.
Yeah.
This actually is an anime that people could watch.
You wouldn't hate yourself. Yes. You might just be a little bored.
Nope. It is dead middle of the road.
Cool.
So that was the healer kick from the party is actually the strongest.
All right.
Cool. Should we move on to the next one then?
Take us away, Xeno.
Right. I'm going to talk about Demon Lord 2099, and I believe the pair of you are also watching this.
I haven't. So I didn't actually get around to watching this one because I knew you were reviewing it. So I'm honestly kind of waiting to see what you think before I pick it up. So sell me on this, Xeno.
So this is potentially the hardest thing for me to review this season, where You Are Miss Servant has completely subverted expectations in a very positive way. Right?
This has played into them.
No, Demon Lord 2099 is subverting expectations but it could still ultimately fall flat. I think this is difficult, but I feel like this is an acquired taste 3-star at the moment.
All right.
But one episode could turn this from like an acquired taste 5-star to a nothing special 5-star. Like it's kind of living by the seat of its pants with that very black frame right there.
Apparently I left the black screen in.
Lol. Actually, to be fair, it probably got re-rendered in, but regardless. Anyway, so it's a very interesting premise. The whole idea is that we had a demon lord who existed for hundreds of years. Was it thousands?
Yeah, he ran his empire for 500, let alone built up to that.
Right. So yeah, he was running his so he was demon lord for thousands of years, and ultimately he was slain by a mortal hero called Gram, right? And because I think because he was immortal, or because of the magic he was using as the demon lord, he was going to resurrect 500 years later.
Correct.
But the interesting part of this is what happened 80 years prior to his resurrection, where they suffered a catastrophe where Earth, our Earth, ended up fusing with this fantasy world, right? Which basically brought about, I suppose, the cyberpunk 2099 aesthetic that the show is going through.
Yeah, our technology and their magitech just kind of went forward leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
So we have this dystopian future almost. Did you pick up on one thing, Zeno? Is that
I picked up on many things.
On the weather report.
Probably. But
so they did a weather report from the everything. What's the weather today? And they said that inside the cryo barrier, it's inside the city. It was -2 degrees Celsius.
Right.
Which means that outside the barrier, it's much colder. Yes.
Well, not necessarily.
So I'm guessing it's
much hotter.
It's like it's good. And she said, no, it's warm today, is what she said.
Right.
-2 Celsius is warm today. And you think, oh, there's so if they're doing that, there must be something on the outside of the of that containment thing that's adverse weather, adverse situations.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that really endears me to the premise of the show, at least, is the fact that we have like a side character who's an orc that has recurred twice now, and he is a cyborg. He's a cyborg orc, right? Which is just like a cyborg. But it's still an interesting premise to have these two things mixed together, and it works well. There's a video game I think called Shadowrunner, which is basically what if it's dystopian.
I think it's just Shadowrun, but
cyberpunk. Oh, is it Shadowrun? Okay, dystopian fantasy, sci-fi setting. It's really interesting. And then the thing that
I love this picture in the background is all the old technology they've nailed to the wall, including an iMac,
a floppy disk. There's a fucking floppy disk on there,
and everything, all this stuff like flip phones and regular phones and handheld
game console,
yeah,
iPod.
They had a rotary phone, but anyway,
TV remote and everything. Yeah.
But the other side of this is, so basically our Demon Lord, our main protagonist, has been separated from the system where everyone can work in things. They require a pass, an ID pass of some kind, in order to function in society. But also, like, if you go to try and get a job, well, not just that, but like if you go to,
it's a bit of tech you put in your neck, like a cyber implant.
Yeah.
That has been engineered so it won't work with his physiology, the true and lawful physiology.
Yeah, it was specifically won't work with him. But and this is where it can go, well, this has just gone downhill, is in order for him to start earning any form of income, he becomes a streamer. And it's just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But...
I did love how they came up with the idea, though. They're in that bar with the things on the wall.
Yeah.
And they're talking, what can we do with somebody who has a nice voice and a weird persona? And then the bartender's just like, you could see him like flicking the air from like his own virtual interface, and the TV turns on to a streamer, and then they all turn and look up at it and go, that's what you could do.
Yeah,
I was actually paying attention.
He becomes a streamer, and I'm like, oh fuck, is this what the rest of the series is going to be? But in half an hour, they do a huge what's the time lapse montage. Thank you. They do a huge montage of him doing that, and him properly establishing himself. This is the cyborg orc. If anyone's watching.
So it's like they're just going to be, as long as this doesn't turn into Devil as a part-timer, and it's just stuff like that, so that they can do actual fun things.
Yes.
So why did he become a streamer, Xeno? Why is it?
So there's two main reasons he became a streamer. One is because they needed an income, right? But the other one is that his power is dependent on the belief in him, right? As the Demon Lord. Right. So he's actually the Demon Lord, a Twitch streamer, and he's got 1 million followers now. I think they're followers. Exactly. And it's actually, people believing in the hype to the point of he now actually is regaining his ability.
Even people that hate him, or even his haters,
still believe in him
because they're talking about him. They're talking about the Demon Lord, and the legend is becoming more talked about.
Okay, I'm definitely catching up on this.
So this could go up. Mm-hmm. It could go down, or it could just remain where it is. It's so difficult to tell.
But it's also such good production quality. It's a great premise, because this whole thing of him being cut off from these devices means that people that were weaker than him are now stronger than him.
Yeah.
In terms of magical ability. He was a Demon Lord, partly because of his super fast ability to cast spells. He could cut out one of the steps. But these devices, if you have magic, allow you to cut out 3 steps. So from the thing. Is
there any indication that people are trying to figure out who he is yet, or
no.
there's no antagonist so far? It's just
there is an antagonist.
Well, there is. Yes.
Okay.
You should know who the antagonist from the first episode.
I haven't watched it.
Oh, I thought you had.
He's waiting for us. Is what he's.
Sorry, I thought you hadn't caught up. But anyway.
No.
Right.
So
that's it.
Yep.
We've gone wrong.
I would have put it as a low must watch myself, but it's definitely worth to watch.
I'm too concerned that this could just go, well, that was a whole lot of nothing.
Devil is a part-timer, but streamers.
Yeah. But cyberpunk. And didn't do anything with it. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. In the third episode, that shift suddenly makes you think, maybe it's not.
Yep.
So that was Devil Lord 2099?
Yeah.
Demon Lord 2099. Let's move on to another show about demons, Dragon Ball GT. I mean DAIMA.
Nice.
So couple of things going into this, right? I did look this up because I wanted to make sure I got it right. Somebody else and I had a disagreement about this. This takes place before Dragon Ball Super. This takes place 2 years after the Buu saga, whereas Super takes place, I think, 5 years after.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And GT is considered an alternate timeline to Super, right? So GT and Super do not exist in the same continuity. I mean, they're both canon, but they're different timelines, right? So this takes place between Buu saga and Super, which means...
So this is... Well,
no, go ahead.
Well, I mean, can this happen between Buu saga and GT?
I don't know. Potentially.
Right.
I think they take place about the same time, honestly. I want to say GT also takes place about 2 years after.
No, they I don't think they can, because isn't Trunks still a kid in this?
Yes.
Where, like, I think, yeah, which in GT, he was a teenager, right? He is as old as he is in Super, I think.
Well, in Super, he's still...
Right.
Oh, yeah, I guess he's like maybe 11 or 12. Either way, it means that there's no Super Saiyan God, there's no Saiyan Blue, and there's no Ultra Instinct. There cannot possibly be, which instantly makes this better. And I am putting this... It's a little early, but this is my second 5-star must-watch show.
Wow!
It's actually better than Super. It is on par with the superhero movie to me. They are actually trying to tell a story. It took 3 episodes before we saw Goku get into a fight. Okay? And even then, that fight lasted. It was a bar fight where he was. So in the demon world, right? One of the other ways they've kind of knocked him down, aside from turning him back into a kid, so he's not really used to his own body anymore, is the demon world is like the air is heavy there. It slows down your movements. It makes it harder to do things, and so he doesn't have quite the power that he had before. Which is it's nice. So we just see him like getting into a bar fight in the demon realm while he wants to eat hamburgers. He just wants to have some hamburgers, and these guys are like, "Hey, you got some round ears. You ain't no demon." It's so funny. It's such a good little moment where like he's beating them up and eating hamburgers at the same time. But they spend like these first 3 episodes world building, right? The first episode is I will admit the first episode, if you've seen Z, it might be a little rough on you. I actually kind of enjoyed it because I skipped the Boo saga, and so watching the new Demon Lord, or Demon King, basically recap those events, because he's the Dobara. Majin Dobra, he was the old Demon King, but now that he's dead, we've got a new Demon King, and so he's catching up on those events, and he's like, okay, I gotta make sure these people are no threat to my reign. If they could take out Dobara and Boo, I gotta make sure they're no threat. And so he's like, I'll just make them kids, but he doesn't realize that he's made them kids with all the same memories that they currently have, so like, they haven't actually lost anything. And then a guy shows up.
Vegeta looks so stupid.
yeah, he does. That head is so big. But he does have a big old head. Anyway, so then they're like, well, they figure out about the demon realm, and they're like, well, we've got to go there to, Dende gets kidnapped, so they've got to go there to save Dende, and while they're there, they gotta, get the demon world Dragon Balls to make themselves normal again.
Really?
Yeah, so there's a few things in there, like,
I kind of like that.
We find out that all the Kais and also the Namekians are from the Demon Realm originally, and they came here. So the Dragon Balls actually originate in the Demon Realm, and then the Namekians who came here made their own.
That's interesting.
And also the Kais come from there, which is interesting.
Wait! Is this a proper redo of the fact that Piccolo was a slug man? No, he's actually a demon.
Demon King. He is actually a Demon King. Demon King Piccolo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Demon King Piccolo.
Yep.
So he was, even though they are into biology slug men, they are from the demon realm originally, so they're a race of demons. That's actually a nice tie-in.
We get to see our villains again. A lot of tone building. We get to see our villains interacting, and they're very schemy and underhanded and potentially working against each other while also doing all this. And it's really fun.
Can I just say, is there a moment where Bulma just turns around and goes like, "I'm okay with being made young again"?
Yes. She and Chi-Chi both comment about how their skin is so smooth now.
Good.
It's so good. I love this show. I think Xena would actually really like this show because you liked the superhero movie, and this feels a lot closer to that, where like they're trying to tell a story, and it's not just how powerful can we get sort of thing.
Yeah.
In fact, they can't get more powerful than Super Saiyan 2 or 3 or whatever.
Goku did get to 3 in the Buu saga.
Yes,
he did.
So potentially he
but
could do 3.
They had to fuse to go beyond that.
Yeah.
Wait, did Goku get resurrected before the end of the Buu saga?
Well, this is like 2 years later, so potentially they resurrected him at some point.
Because
I don't remember.
The weird thing.
No, I think they've got to have resurrected him during the Buu saga because he and Vegeta fused.
Yes, that was it. When they were on the world of the Kais, I think they brought him back to life.
That sounds about right.
They used the earrings. Yeah.
Yeah, the Patara earrings wouldn't work if he was dead.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was something like that, I'm sure.
Random shit.
Yep.
Anyway.
So yeah, yes. Very, very good. Go watch it. I didn't time myself, so I have no idea how long that took. Hopefully it didn't go over too much. That is Dragon Ball Daima. It also looks excellent. You know how in the beginning of Super there were some animation issues? No, they've taken their time on this one. There are no flaws in the animation.
No, it's...
Right. Moving on.
So moving on. I'm going to go for Goodbye Dragon Life.
Okay, which one's that?
The weird happy girl with the red hair.
Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Got it.
So, in this one, this is still one of my Parade of Nothing specials.
Oh, wow.
It's Nothing Special 4. And in this one, it's a weird case of a reincarnation anime. Except the reincarnated person was originally a dragon. So he was a dragon and a very powerful one, a very old one, who got very depressed with his life. And when a bunch of adventurers came to kill him, he was like, "Dude, why are you even attacking me? I'm just living my life here." And when they actually did kill him, he was like, "Oh, I guess I'll die. Fair enough." But he's reincarnated
it's the old man meme. Guess I'll die.
Yeah. Exactly. And so he is reincarnated, and from the show, it shows that he actually technically does have access to his old dragon powers in a limited way. So, there's limitations placed on him by the fact he's in a human body. But he's he genuinely is just living his life. He's got a family now, he's got his friends, and he just wants to live his quiet life in the village. The issue with that is that this is a world where things will happen. It's a bit of a slow life thing, but they send him out to look at a local phenomenon going wrong. There's a village of lizard men that has suddenly stopped trading with them. And so he goes out to investigate, finds that it's a swamp now, covered in dark ooze, and the lizard men have all just up and left. And instead he meets a Lamia woman, a snake woman, who is just, there as well. She went there thinking, oh, it's a lizard village, I'm going to go there as well, to find it was empty. And because he was a dragon, he has absolutely no fear of monster people at all, unlike other humans would. And so he just greets her, says hello, thinks to himself that, oh yeah, Lamia people like to have a bit of life energy transferred as a greeting. And so he does that with his dragon powers, and which instantly puts him in her good books. Together with the two of them, they defeat a mud monster that has taken over the village and free up that space again for people to come back and live. But it's all handled very, very casually. It's not done with the sense of urgency you'd get out of a proper action or adventure show. This is a guy that would rather be out in the fields planting potatoes. but not because he's not powerful, but because he's enjoying his life in the village. Then it does some interesting choices. So the first thing that this Lamia girl is off to, she says, yeah, so I will see you around then. I'm looking for a guy to be my forever husband. And so I'm going to keep looking instead of following him. And he says, yeah, sure, okay, until next we meet, and goes home. But then she ends up hanging around outside the village anyway, because it's just the way she was going. And so they meet up again. And she says, well, actually, I kind of want to try living with you for a bit. But the humans are all scared of her, so she's trying to make offerings of food that she's caught, giant boars and so on. And it gets political for some reason. Like a whole host of knights come down from the major city to capture and collar this Lamia girl for being in a human village. Where is this going? Where is this story? Where is this plot? I can't even really get my head around what they're actually trying to do here, because it's like a slow life mixed with a reincarnation isekai.
What is with this chin here?
Yes, these other bits. Some of the character models.
Sorry, Thaylien, we lost you for a second.
Sorry. I don't know, some of the character models are a bit off. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, they've tried to make him all craggy and withered, but what is it with his forehead?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, oh my God.
You know? Well, and look at his chin line as well. They've tried to cover it up with the fact that he's got a small bit. Look at his chin.
Why is his beard doing this thing? Yeah, anyway.
But his chin and his nose are pointing in two different directions.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You know,
so yes, I actually enjoy the slow life a bit, and I like the idea of what the fuck is the story? Where is it going?
Yeah.
But that's me, and so it's still in the nothing special range. I wouldn't
Can you
ever.
give us an acquired taste?
No, he said nothing special.
No, it's nothing special.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
This is firmly in the nothing special range, although it could go higher. I think it's going to stay here.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep watching this one?
I might. This one isn't holding my attention as much.
And yet you ranked it higher.
Yes, than the other ones, because the other ones just let me down. This one, I had no idea what to expect. So this one,
so expectation versus reality. Okay.
This one definitely didn't. I went into it with no expectations, no idea of what it was going to be, and so the good start that we had from the reincarnation of a dragon into a man, is just slowly going downhill. And who knows? By the 6th episode rule, I may have dropped this. I could come back to this, or at least say I am dropping it after 6 because it's gone down. But I think I'll at least watch it to 6.
Cool.
So,
right.
That was
Dragon Life.
Cool. Right. And when we say goodbye to Dragon Life, we say hello to Mecha-Ude and Mechanical Arms.
Oh, nice segues, Nice segue.
Thank you. I thought it was amazing. I did a brilliant job. I'm the best at this. I mean, hell, I'm staving off the desire to make the is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon 5 joke again. So I think I'm winning at this.
Showing a lot of restraint.
So, yeah, right. So, Mecha-Ude Mechanical Arms, I'm gonna say, is a 4-star acquired taste. This has such fundamental opportunity to be a must-watch, right? But I kind of feel that the plot is a little bland, right? So the premise of this show is that there is basically a secret side to what's going on in the city, where people are fusing to these mechanical creatures, right? And they fuse. I think though they fuse
into. But yes.
Okay, they fuse.
No, call it fuse. Yeah.
But when they fuse, they take the appearance of a humanoid body part, right? I can't think of... There's like one exception. 2 exceptions I can think of. But stereotypically, they're either like an arm or a leg. Very mechanical in nature. But they are a human leg. They are a human arm. And these mechanical creatures are brought into subservitude by this organization, and we have a resistance group that is trying to.
When he says subservience, he means literal slavery. Like they put control collars on them and remove their ability to think for themselves, like at all.
Yeah. And the
resistance.
What was I going with? Yeah, the resistance. The resistance is trying to stop this from continuing on and rebuild the relationship between humanity and these mechanical creatures. The key is to do with the one that's fused to the main protagonist, but unfortunately this one has forgotten everything. It can't remember anything. So it can't remember how it achieved this balance originally with its original host. I want to say host. It's kind of like a symbiotic relationship. So, yeah. The animation...
And also it's not fused directly to our main character, which is very strange for this world, because they don't think that's even possible, and B, presents some interesting opportunities for them to mess around with.
Yeah. So... But the animation is top quality for a studio that, as far as we've been able to tell, has done nothing but music videos.
They did the Kickstarter episode for this too, but yes, other than that, like basically they've just been. In fact, they did the music video for the opening theme song, which is interesting.
Yeah. So again, it's surprisingly good production for a studio that has not had this sort of opportunity before. They're knocking it out of the park.
It's another one that feels almost Trigger quality.
Almost. Certainly, almost. I would argue that this has closer ties to Trigger Productions, Studio Trigger Productions, than that of Dandadan, right? Dandadan has that Studio Trigger level of energy, but I think that's from the source material, right?
Fair.
Whereas this is a original piece of work that not only do they have the energy in the writing, but they also have the energy in the animation, right? So that is like a big part of why I feel this is closer to Studio Trigger level of production. It is interesting. Where it goes, I don't know. The plot is probably the weakest point, but it's by far not the worst.
Because it's kind of your typical shonen plot where our main character stumbles into this world and happens to get a hold of the most powerful thing in that world, and he only keeps fighting because he feels like bad about not helping people out and that sort of thing,
Right now, if I had to compare, I would say this is very much on par with the first, 4 episodes of Kill la Kill, which isn't saying it's a bad thing. It's just not had the opportunity to grow because we haven't had those later episodes.
They're introducing us to the world at this point.
Yes. So it could be that this turns into an absolute banger. It has the potential. It really obviously does. But right now, I would prefer to be sparing about it and then surprise you later than rave about it now and then it'd be a letdown.
Yeah.
Oh god, it playing with the toilet paper was hilarious.
Yes.
That was funny. Right.
So many little moments like that.
Let's move on.
Right. So
my mechanical arms.
Yes, excellent show. So my next one is Haigakura. So this is, I think, my lowest rated one. I think. Oh, well, maybe. I guess I would have personally rated 365 Days to the Wedding lower, but I rated it for what I think other people would like. So this is an acquired taste 1 star. It's got some interesting. Why is there another black screen? Oh no! Has some interesting ideas, but otherwise it's generally kind of a basic story. Reminds me a lot of Sengoku Yoko from like 2 seasons ago. So having to start with an info dump, not a great sign. They basically have to tell us about this world where there used to be like these 4 pillars that held up the world, and those pillars had gods imprisoned in them, but then one day the gods escaped, and so in order to find them, they created a new class of sorcerer. I can't remember what they're called, but it doesn't matter. To go god hunter. They're the god hunters. And there are more than just those 4 gods. There's a lot of little gods, and so like you can bind these gods to you as servants. And our main character has a non-standard way of doing it. Usually you're supposed to do it through like song and dance, but he sucks at singing, so he uses like death metal instead.
It works.
Instead of a bunch of girls with the occasional guy like you might see in other shows, this has a bunch of hot guys with the occasional girl. Which I'm not opposed to, not in the least. But it has that sort of similar feel. Tends to be have a more artistic style, but it isn't afraid to go, super chibi and deformed and everything for comedy. Typical weakest guy failure is actually the strongest shonen trope. We just discussed that earlier with even Mecha-Ude, but Mecha-Ude handles it well, while this one handles it completely standard. World seems extremely pre-industrial, and yet they also have like photographs. I'm not sure what's going on with this world. It is apparently supposed to be our world. It is actual Japan. Even though it feels like a fantasy world, it's really weird. I don't understand the setting at all. I do like the characters, but the actual character designs and even some of their interactions. But a lot of the writing for the story is still very generic and basic. It's kind of like imagine if they smashed the present and past worlds of Inuyasha together, and instead of Kagome being intelligent and compassionate and nice, you've got Inuyasha as the main character instead, who is just standoffish and mean, and Kagome is his servant, right? And yes, that's really about it. I just don't have a lot to say about this show. It's just kind of there. It's all right. You probably won't hate yourself for watching it if you like that sort of shonen fantasy adventure around the world. But like episode 3 was all a flashback, so I can't even really say much about the plot because it hasn't developed yet at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's interesting. You've rated that up in the acquired taste. That's for other people rather than yourself.
Well, no, because I'm going to keep watching it. Like, I'm intrigued because there are hints of something going on. They also introduced so one of the gods apparently stayed behind or was captured and had his leg cut off, and they used his leg bones to reinforce one of the pillars. And it's like that's a cool idea. I want more stuff like that. Can we please get more stuff? So I'm kind of holding out hope that develops more.
I see. Interesting then. So that's
Haigakura. Or Haigakura, yeah.
Shall we move on?
Please.
All right. So I'm actually going to go up my scale a bit to let this grieving soul retire. Now, this one is finally the first one out of my nothing special range. This is an acquired taste 1. And it's kind of funny. So this is a pure fantasy, and it is the story of of the leader of the most powerful clan of adventurers in their area, called the Grieving Souls. And he is basically your average guy, but all of his childhood friends grew up to be these super powerful adventurers, which we don't know a lot about. Basically, we see him on his own. It's like that they've gone off on their own, or all on their own ways to do different things. And we start the season with him doing some recruiting for the very first time to see if anybody will actually, join his guild. So the clan started a guild called the First Steps, and so there are other groups of adventurers that are under his banner, and he is touted as the most amazing adventurer. This guy called Thousand Tricks, and his only real standout talent is that he can draw the true power out of dungeon relics. The problem is he can't do much with dungeon relics. You'll get like shot rings, which can fire off a finger gun kind of beam, and while he can make a very powerful one, it's not enough to really kill a monster. And so his thing is being clever, but he actually just wants to not be there. And it's all of his super powerful best friends that have kept him there. Even when he decided that, our adventuring name will be the Grieving Souls. And he's like to himself, yes, it's far too edgy. They don't want it. They will turn around and go, you know what? That's great. And you could be the leader. It's just dragging him along at their pace. And because they consider him such a good friend, rather than because he's actually any good at what he does. So the story itself of the show is actually more centered around this new group of people that's joining the First Steps guild. And he's sending them off on their first kind of adventure. But because he's lazy, because he hasn't really read it, he's getting them into more danger than they should be. So while he's sending off some talented newbies, and the newbies are there thinking, yes, this is all his plan. Look at this. Even the 4 people he's chosen are...
Oh my god, it's Eminence in Shadow.
Suddenly... They're trying... Yes, they're trying... It's almost like Eminence in Shadow, except where he's really doesn't want to be the Eminence in Shadow.
Yes, yeah.
Okay? But then when he does take responsibility for things, he does actually manage to make it look like he was in charge. He comes flying in to save the day, and
oh my god,
actually does get the kids out before they're killed, that kind of thing. So that's why he's got the reputation of Thousand Tricks, because he actually does manage to survive when he really shouldn't. But he's probably the least
Eminence in Shadow, but instead of being
there.
OP, he's actually clever.
Yes. Except in some ways he's oddly dumb. Like, he goes to save the kids, and he puts on this cape that's a flight cape. But the only thing that flight cape can do is go fast in one direction. And so he's taking a whole load of other things with him. But when the cape activates, it actually cuts the line on his sack of relics, and so drops it behind him. And so he flies off without most of his relics, and ends up like he aims it right at the dungeon that he's got to get to, and he's like coming in, bouncing off the walls in this suit as he comes down, and accidentally hits into one of the monsters to save the kid's life. But it does look pretty damn cool when he does it.
I may actually have to pick this up.
So it's It's not the greatest show of the season, I will say, because we've already discussed a couple of those. But it's entertaining for what it is so far. And the production is pretty good. The animation is fun. The characters are actually very entertaining. Especially the one character that truly believes that he's a mastermind, that he's a genius. She's adorable.
See, this is where I differ. Like, I can't stand her. She
Really?
Yeah, I mean, she, in reality, she's the reason why I would give this a 4 or 5 star nothing special, right? Because
are you watching this?
Yeah.
You're not listed on the system.
Yeah, I am. I should be.
There's no symbol.
Oh, that's odd. Yeah, no, I've watched the first 3 episodes, and I just can't watch any more of this. I am more interested in the story of them creating the grieving souls, which we're never going to get, than what is fumbling around right now. I like the fact that the main character isn't just so full of himself that he's not Sig Kagano by any way, shape, or form, right? Which is great. It's a nice, refreshing touch that not everyone believes in the hero sort of thing.
His secretary definitely doesn't.
At this, okay. But at the same time, thus far, they have a leveling system for the quests. Sorry, a ranking system for the quests based on level. Oh, this is a level 3 quest. Oh, this is a level 1 quest.
It's based on the difficulty of the dungeon that they're going to go into.
But thus far, everything has proven that this ranking system is completely and utterly broken, right? Because they did a level 1 dungeon when they were there, and a level 4 Cyclops was in there. I was just like, how was this a level 1 dungeon, right? And so the whole thing, and like,
well, if everything else is just a level 1 monster, and you've only got 1 level 4 monster, then the average
would not be
was
1
on the wrong floor.
Huh?
The Cyclops was on the wrong floor of the dungeon. It wasn't supposed to appear.
Yeah, but still, it's
but the reason that the ranking system in this case was definitely broken is because the dungeon in question they go to is supposed to be a level 3, but they're thinking about upgrading it because an adventuring team has gone missing, and the mission is to rescue that adventurer team.
Yeah.
So for an adventurer team of level 3 to go missing in a level 3 dungeon, that's not heard of. You know? So they were going to upgrade it if it's proven to be more difficult.
But even so, it's like we've sent in level 4 adventurers and above, and they're still struggling. But the level 4 adventurers are like shitting their pants. They're like, this is a level 3 mission. It's a rescue mission. We're shitting our pants. Like, could you please elaborate? Could you please? Mm-hmm. Right? And
again, they not the best show, let's be perfectly honest, but I still like the way it's presenting itself and where it's going. I found it funny.
I can appreciate that. It's not my kind of
the character you found annoying, I find adorable.
Yeah.
So there is that difference.
Hence the acquired taste.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Shall we move on?
That was Let This Grieving Soul Retire.
Right, and I am going to move on to... I'm going to do Ranma Half.
Yay!
So the reboot of Ranma Half
with the terrible pink hair with the red hair.
This rapper who's Studio Silver. No, that's not Ranma Half. Oh, is this... Hold on, can we pause it for 2 seconds? Okay, cool. Right, so back to the actual review. Right, so Ranma Half, the reboot, 2024 by Studio ... Waiting for the thing to tell me. It's not, there we go. Studio Taniguchi Hiromi? I kind of feel that's not a studio but a person. Anyway, who knows what the studio is? We'll never know. I think it's Mappa. Ranma half. That might be the original.
You just keep going.
You're distracting me. Being distracted.
Yeah.
2005. A new anime adaptation produced by Mappa. Premiered on October 6th, 2024.
Cool,
Yep.
right, Studio Mappa. Right, there we go. So, this is pretty much on par with the events of Season 1. They have stylized the colours. The colours aren't particularly bad. And there's not a whole lot more to highlight about that.
Most of them seem alright, but Ranma's hair should be more red in all of our opinions.
I agree. Yeah, what you call it?
Yes.
So I'm also noticing that the colours are dipping in and out because it's struggling with the bloody name because of the stupid half.
Oh, when you right, the crossfade is yeah.
So
it's fluctuating ever so slightly.
That's magenta pink in my eyes, and yeah, you're right. That should be probably redhead.
Yeah.
But even so, there's times when they decide, let's just randomly stylize it similar to a comic book and things. They'll put with different shading on it. They'll do all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. But it's really subtle and off-putting that they do these animation changes. It's not the end of the world that they have done this, but at the same time, it's still not as good as the likes of Elusive Samurai. Elusive Samurai, when it did its animation changes, it was like a hard 180 or a hard handbrake turn or whatever you want to describe it. It was cool to experience those changes. But with Ranma half, it's really subtle and it's a bit off-putting because it's kind of like looking at the uncanny valley of a CG smile. Your brain is just going like, that doesn't look right, but I'm not entirely sure why it doesn't look right. You know,
Skinwalkers.
What?
Skinwalkers.
The reason we have the uncanny valley exists. Skinwalkers.
Okay.
Doppelgangers.
Things that look human but aren't.
Okay.
Body snatchers.
Anyway, I know what Nasuth's doing, but I know what Thaylien is trying to do. Moving on. Yeah, I mean, but the events of the first 3 episodes are pretty much identical to the events of the original series that came out decades ago. So,
Decades ago.
You know, it's realistically, Ranma fell off for me, the original Ranma series fell off for me when it was season 3 onwards, when they introduced the character known as Hapasai. And it fell off because every episode became about a panty thief. And it became incredibly boring. I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons of the original Ranma. Now, in the intro for this, the remake, they do include characters like Shampoo, who is supposed to be another love interest for Ranma. But whether or not she makes an appearance in this season is basically up to the rest of the production. You know, there's a non-zero percentage chance we don't see Shampoo, right?
It's through the intro. We probably will.
Well, I'm pretty sure she was in the intro for the first season of the first original season of Ranma. But she didn't make an appearance until season 2. Okay. So it's
let's not forget that the original Pokemon intro featured a person never existed in the show.
Fair enough.
Did it?
Yeah, Pikachu ran through the legs of a girl that was never actually existed in the show.
Nah, Ash's dad.
Didn't also the first episode of Pokemon feature Ho-Oh that looked nothing like Ho-Oh?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, sure did.
Yeah.
Very end.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't really have anything more to follow up with.
So, would you say if it follows the original series that closely, would you say it's actually worth watching this overwatching the original, just because of the updated art style and the cleaner quality and
But another nice thing is it stays true to the 80s culture. So like they're using things like rotary phones. They're using things like, you know, they're not walking around school with mobile phones because, again, this was set in the 80s. I think even the show turns around and says, like, just to remind everyone, this was set in the 80s, right? You know, and I kind of like that as well. Like, it stays true to form because a lot of the time when shows are released
updated
decades later, they don't include things like, oh, well, why don't you just call such and such on your phone? And like, because I don't have a phone. Those don't exist when this was originally written all those years ago. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, exactly. But yeah, it's good. Did I rate this?
Oh shoot! I don't know if you did.
Yeah. Hang on.
Did I?
I don't think you did.
You did not.
Okay. I'm gonna give this a 4-star acquired taste.
Not bad.
I enjoy it. But I don't think it's gonna. It's a rom-com, but it has very strong comedy elements. And
it's a classic rom-com, not a modern rom-com.
Yeah, and I think some of the hilarity in the fact that, like, how many ways can a guy just get soaked in water is just hilarious. It's so funny. So, especially when people use it for mischievous reasons for financial gains. I think that's one of the other
hijinks and
cool
shenanigans.
aspects. Anyway, that's it. That's Ranma half. Let's move on to.
Or for you Americans, Ranma 1/2.
Fuck off! It's Ranma half. Shut up.
Right. So the next one is Kabushikigaisha Magi-Lumire, or more appropriately, Magi-Lumire Magical Girls Inc. And this, I wasn't sure what I would think of it or what I would make of this before I watched it, and then I was pretty hooked by end of the first episode. Actually, by the beginning of the first episode, really. So this, I'm rating this a little higher. It is an acquired taste 4-star. Your viewings may differ, but because it might be a little too zany for some people as it goes on. But I think it still has a lot of potential, both to go nowhere fast and to be really good. But for now, it's really fun, so I'm enjoying it. Definitely closer to something like Spec Ops Asuka than something like Shy or Madoka, right? Not quite Spec Ops Asuka because it has a very comedic bent to it. But still in that sort of So maybe with a little bit of Bullbuster, because Bullbuster's a little more comedic, or Miss Kuroitsu from Monster Development Department, right? It's that kind of show. Our team works at a small startup with all the comedy and difficulty that you get from that sort of tiny little business. The world, they haven't really gone too much into how Magical Girls came about, and I don't know if they ever will, but essentially the world seems to have a synthesis of technology and magic. Like, they transform, like the one of the guys working for them creates the magical girl transformations and through coding on his computer. He's a coder. And like the brooms that they fly channel magical power, but they're clearly technology. The spells are all like listed as almost computer programs, right? One of the girls is using an iPad to reload the magic bullets for the other one. Yes, you know.
Can I interject? So one thing that I think is fundamentally important to highlight about this is that anyone can be a magical girl. Right?
Any girl can be a magical girl.
Yeah, it's not limited to. So in Magical Spec Ops Asuka, it was limited to just 9 girls across the world, right?
And the same thing with Shy. Like, not everyone could get heart shift bracelets and stuff.
Yeah. So it's like, but in this one, which I can't remember, the Magical Lumire. Yeah. It's anyone can apply for a job as a magical girl and potentially get it.
Yeah.
Before we continue,
because magic exists.
Nasuth, I don't think your Discord thing is full screen, because there's a black bar at the top of Thaylien and my webcams.
Oh.
There you go.
Fixed.
Oops. Oopsie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's even better because the mouse over like highlights people's names over here.
It does. It does.
See, there. It gives you to tell that I'm super Kanpai Feifei.
Anyway.
But at the same time, like, the reload mechanic seems a little silly. Why does it have to be done on site with the iPad? Why can't the programmer guy be doing it back from base when he's monitoring them in other ways?
Maybe it's a proximity thing. Magic and proximity.
I'd actually assume it's more a case of a bit of contrivance. So it's just like, this is just for...
It has to work out that way for the plot to get our new girl involved with this company.
Yeah. We haven't introduced anyone else at the company, so let's leave it at that.
And given that this is a zany, madcap comedy, you might not care, and that's fine. I'm bringing that. You probably shouldn't care, but I'm going to bring that up because you might also be like, "What? No, don't get bogged down in that. Don't get bogged down in that." Like I say, I don't care because the show's overall tone and action make up for that sort of thing. Definitely leans on the study/cram culture of Japan. 100%. That's her whole shtick. Is that she's good at studying. She's like, I can't do anything else, but I'm good at studying. Some occasional continuity errors.
It reminds me of that other weird isekai, In Another World with My Smartphone, where he found that it's just the matter of if you can draw the magical circles, then you can cast the magic. And so he just takes pictures of them with his smartphone and brings up the spells he wants to.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Cheating. Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Cheating.
Some occasional continuity errors, like saying it's the first time we're using this device when it was the second mission that they've used that device, or now that we're suited up when one of them still hasn't transformed. But again, the show's overall tone, not a problem. It's okay. Don't worry about it. The designs of the monsters, they're called Kai, are actually pretty neat most of the time. Like, the animation seems very consistent and quality, and it's standard, but it's quality standard.
I see.
I'd actually argue that the animation is better than most stereotypical shows. Like, I feel that a lot of shows that are targeted towards a female demographic tend to have higher quality production.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, isekai trash is isekai trash, therefore trash animation.
Yes.
So, I really like this show. I think you're accurate a lot in what you're saying. I also wonder how much the issues that you've described are actually more like translation issues. Like, the subtitles are just crap. So, yeah.
I also love their boss. Their boss is amazing. Comes off as this very, like, unapproachable, cold, menacing form, but is actually really nice and warm and like, willing to listen to his employees and cares more about, like, preserving the areas that they work in rather than just killing stuff as efficiently as possible. Like, everything about him is great.
I do love the paradigm that's shown between the big corporations who are just like, fuck it, just nuke it, and the startup, our protagonists who are like, no, we're doing this for the people, and if we just nuke it, well, we ain't doing it for the people, are we?
Yeah. Sure, they'll be compensated monetarily, but they'll lose all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You had a similar thing in Bullbuster, which is, again, one of the things I liked about that show. But yeah, that's Magi-Lumire, Magical Girls, Inc.
Yep.
Nice.
Worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch.
So I'm going to move on to next up in the list. For me, which is the most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan. And this one is actually slightly higher than last. It is an acquired taste 2-star.
Wait, I can't find it.
Most notorious. It's this one, Xeno.
Yeah, I can't see the thumbnail.
Oh.
Huh.
Wait, what if we go to... Would it be under M?
Yeah, because it should drop out the...
Bear with us. There it is.
There. Yeah.
There he is.
I can't see it under the decade. Okay.
Weird. Anyway.
Very strange.
Continue. You said this was a what?
An acquired taste 2-star.
2-star. Going back down.
Yeah. No, it's up.
Oh, no, wait. It's still up for you, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, in this one, this is a world, again, full fantasy, where adventurers are called seekers. Okay? And your class of seeker is something you're kind of assigned at birth, almost. You kind of grow in, you get to a certain age and you can become a seeker, and you get given a class. And there's warriors, there's defenders, there's healers, and there's support types. And the grandson of the most powerful warrior seeker in the world is our main character, and he's been given the weakest class of seeker.
Oh.
He is a talker, and it
The
genuinely sticks to
weakest.
that. It sticks to that. The talker is the weakest class because it is a buff class that can't buff itself. So this is the equivalent of if you were in an RTS, okay? If you had an RTS game, but you had to stand on the field of battle yourself as well and give the instructions, that's what this would be, okay? So the world is fantasy, but it's actually slightly modern. There's a little bit of a steampunk element, so there are things like guns in this world. So of course he has one to defend himself. But his role in his team is to literally buff what they're doing, to instruct them on how to do things, because they get bonuses from him actually telling them to do it. So attack using this attack, go after that enemy, do this. They get some rather significant buffs, like literally 25% extra attack, that kind of thing. But again, he can't defend or attack for himself outside of anything a regular human could do. So he's not actually any more powerful than anybody else out there. I think the only thing he has going for him is his grandfather's training, where he taught him a little bit of martial arts. But that's about it. What the draw of this show is for me is that he's an arsehole. The first thing we find happen is, apart from the little adventure, the show is he runs the world's greatest clan, but in the start of the show he doesn't. He's still building up to this. In the start of his show, two of his team literally run out on them. Okay, they got into gambling debts and they escape, and so he uses the benefits of being a talker is better persuasion and things, to send out a whole load of adventurers to try and hunt them down, but then finds the one guy that hung around afterwards to see if they could claim the reward early by telling them where his friends went. Follow up. When he actually catches up to them, to recoup the losses that these people took from him, to repay their gambling debts, he literally sells them into slavery.
Oh my god!
And it's a thing, and even persuades the slaver to sell him. Like, he offered I think it's 6 million of this currency they use. Apparently not a lot. Is 6 million. And so he says, okay, you're going to sell them to me for 12. He tries to protest. Okay, no, 13. Now it's 14. Now it's 15. Why would I sell them to you for 15? Because I'm going to tell everybody that you bought them for 30. And he says, wait, that would mean these guys would actually be worth 30 when they actually come to sell. All right, okay, you have yourself a deal. You know, he actually he gets way more money back than he should have from this whole thing. And as part of his revenge for it, he literally kicks the shit out of the guy that was the main one responsible for stealing this money. So this is not a good person. This is not a good character. And I kind of like the idea that I'm following the story of a bastard, an utter bastard, who is literally out to become the strongest seeker he can be and live up to his grandfather's legacy by any means necessary. So the story really only gets going when he starts recruiting for his own team again, and finds, a person who's actually genuinely talented. The granddaughter of the guy that his grandfather stopped as a League of Assassins kind of thing, and she got kicked out of her order for being, well, not the kind of assassin they were after anymore. That's her on screen now, white-haired woman. And so she takes his ability to buff really quickly, and so they team up, and it's just just starting that adventure now at the third episode mark. So we're going to see where this one bastard and this assassin girl go.
Interesting.
Zeno, you're looking concerned.
No, I'm interested. I'm kind of wondering, is this one I want to pick up? I don't know.
I'm not sure it could. It has the potential to go higher, but it could turn into just an average adventure thing. So
I think I'll wait.
It the Quad Taste 2-star, and I'll tell you at the 6th episode. How's that?
Yep, I think I'll wait. Right. Should we move on?
So that was
the most notorious talker, runs the world's greatest clown.
Indeed.
Right, moving on to Sword Art Online Alternative, Gale Online Season 2.
What?
I'm genuinely surprised that this got a Season 2. I actually really liked Season 1. So, for those who don't know, Gale Online, Sword Art Online Alternative, it's a side story based on
it's set in the same meta universe, but not the same virtual universe.
Yeah. So, well, technically it is, because oh god, hold on 2 seconds. After the events of Season 1 of Sword Art Online, the code that was used to create the virtual world of Sword Art Online, or Aincrad, was distributed worldwide, sort of thing. And people decided to start making their own variations based on the source code. So it's like, everyone making their own video games based on Unreal Engine 5 or the Quake 3 engine way back when, or you get the idea. In the second season of Sword Art Online, Kirito, our main blandiest McBland protagonist, is asked to go and investigate the events of these mysterious deaths, and it's tied to this game called Gale Online.
Oh.
Gale Online is effectively the Call of Duty of VR games, right?
Except conveniently, it also has swords in it.
We're fucking ignoring shit bullcrap.
If you played the other one, if you played Sword Art Online, the sword skills apparently carry over. Even one of the villains has the sword.
Yeah, so basically the whole premise was that because all these worlds were based on the same engine, a person's character effectively transfers over. So if you got to max level in Sword Art Online, when you went to Elfheim Online, you were max level. When you go to Gun Gale Online, you're max level. Blah, blah, blah. But who gives a fuck about Sword Art Online? No one cares. Sword Art Online is garbage. Sorry if anyone likes Sword Art Online. It's garbage. You're welcome to enjoy it. Garbage. But Gun Gale Online was a very interesting premise for a VR setting and things like this. And we ended up having our main protagonist, Len, who is a character that in the real world, she's a really, really tall woman. And everyone gawks at her height, right? She's like 6 foot plus, right? Everyone gawks at her and she hates it, right?
But in the game, she's a cute little Genki girl.
Effectively. Now, when you create your avatars in the game, you are set with one avatar, the end, right?
It's random as well, isn't it, slightly?
It's based on your physical attributes, and it's random, right? So your physical attributes elicit the seed, blah, 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 but it is pseudo-random. She tried every game based on the Sword Art Online engine, and Gun Gale Online was the only game that gave her a short avatar. Someone that could be, below the radar. She didn't want to stand out from anyone. But the thing that it also gave her is that she is stupidly fast, right? So she can run faster than anyone else as her sort of like passive attribute. Yeah? It's fun.
I just want to say you still haven't rated this.
I'm getting it.
We're getting to it.
Personally, I would rate Gun Gale Online Season 1 as a... this is Season 1, not Season 2, right?
Yeah.
I would rate Season 1 as a 2-star must-watch. It was really fun, right? But Season 2... I'm going to go with a 3-star acquired taste.
Interesting.
The reason why is Season 1 really heavily focuses on our main protagonist, right? And Season 2 hasn't. We've had one episode where our main protagonist does anything, and 3 episodes where they haven't. So the idea of so the big thing about Gun Gale Online is it should be watched in bulk. It should be binge watched because basically it's multiple episodes per battle royale, skirmish, what have you. Yeah, and a lot of the time in Gun Gale Online Season 1. Yes, it was multiple episodes, but it was all focused around Len, who you can see above my head right now. I'm going the wrong way. There you go. Season 2 is just like, it's focusing on all the side characters from Season 1 and not on our main group. And it's like, you need to give people what they want. And if you're not going to give them the main group, why am I fucking here?
That's a fair point.
There you go. That's Gun Gale Online, Season 2.
Nice.
Interesting. Right, so coming into the home stretch, my last 2 were both appropriately horror-themed. So let's do Lockdown Zone, Level X, and this will be a full season review. Because the entire thing is already out. It's only 6 episodes. The episodes are only 15 minutes long. It's an ONA. In a lot of ways, it feels like a... Did you ever watch any of those, like, Flash animation motion comics back in the day? It feels a lot... It feels a lot like that. And anyway, so I'm giving this a acquired taste... 3-star, right? Because you have to like horror, and you have to get past the fact that it feels like a motion manga, because that can be a drawback given some of the animation quality that entails, and given the fact that the first episode, I guess, sure. And given that the bulk, so if you're watching the video, you can see on screen that there's a text message conversation going on. The bulk of episode 1 is this text message conversation, and good God, I hated that. But it's the only time it happens, and it instantly picks up in episode like after that, and gets like so good. It's also trying something
forced exposition.
It's trying something different, and in the end, I think it does it well. Kind of different. And again with the text message one too. The other thing that I hated is that it's like, why don't you just call your mom, who's you're texting with? She was calling you literally moments before. That's what woke you up. And then later you call her, and then you call a boy. Or no, sorry, you call a boy and then you call her back. Anyway, the 3D animation's all right, but not amazing. Again, I think that's just the probably budget constraints. A couple of weird moments, mostly when they're walking. Like if they'll focus on their shoes or their feet, and their feet don't look like they're moving right. But I think that goes in with the whole Flash animation sort of feel. And some of the things that seem like conflicting information are actually explained at the end, or late, not necessarily at the end of the show, the season, but later on. Waits 3 full episodes before it reveals the monster. And, that sounds like a lot when you only have 6 episodes and they're 15 minutes, but I actually appreciate their restraint in only showing little tiny bits of it before. So there's kind of a time loop thing going on. So it's not the only monster, but it is the first monster. And the first monster is massive and sitting on top of the building. And I won't tell you what it looks like, but I will say, I don't know if it actually shows up in the thumbnail or the pictures or not. But I will say that you only see like hints of tentacles and stuff snaking around the building until they do the full reveal.
Is this there's his hands going weird.
I had to. Sorry, I was cleaning. Had a little tickle in my throat.
Yeah. Is it similar to the original Cloverfield movie, where they didn't show the monster until like the very end of the movie?
I hated that.
I'd say it's more along the lines. I'd say it's more along the lines of The Thing, but that's because I like The Thing and I don't like Cloverfield. Although I will say that their decision to do that was pretty good. From
an actual movie aesthetic choice, that was a good one.
Yes. It's really good at building suspense with these quiet moments before the next thing happens. And again, with the time loop thing, they kind of figure out that it's almost like they have to meet certain conditions to advance the loop. Otherwise, it just starts over. So, like, in the first loop, which takes, again, like 3 episodes to resolve, they meet those conditions, and so they advance to the next loop. And in the next loop, the monster is still called the same, and most of the conditions are the same, but the monster itself is different. Rather than being a giant thing on top of the building, it is now a bipedal monster wandering the building, searching for them.
Interesting.
And, yeah. So they fail that one.
That's fun.
They fail that one, and it just repeats that loop over again. She's the only one who remembers it, though. He doesn't remember, and we don't know why she remembers it. We don't know why he doesn't remember it. But then in the one after that, they do advance the loop again. So, like, and that's where it ends. Unfortunately, it does end on a cliffhanger, but it is confirmed for a season 2. I actually really liked this one. I thought it was a really good, nice little horror miniseries thing. And that's basically.
Nice.
If you're looking for something a little spooky to watch on Christmas on
Halloween,
Christmas.
Go look up
Lockdown Zone and Level X.
Lockdown Zone Level X. Yep.
Nice.
Weird name.
So I think this is my last one, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, it's because they're in a lockdown zone. The monster is called X, although they call it Psi, and it apparently it's almost like video game levels where you got to achieve something before you can advance.
Mm-hmm.
So lockdown zone level X.
Yeah. So the Japanese name for this one I'm doing is Yokai Gakkou no Sensei Hajimemashita, or the Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School. And this is the highest one on my list.
That's not what that translates to. That translates to nice to meet you, monster school teacher.
Yes, it does. But this is what the actual English name of it is.
Yeah.
So, and this is, let's say, the highest one. It's not Bleach or Down on my list, which is an Acquired Taste 3. Now, this is the fun kind of a slice of life comedy. In that we have a main character who wants to be a high school teacher and literally quit on the first day of being a high school teacher because some kids bullied him. He is cowardly, he is easily startled, and he just wants to be a teacher to put some good back into the world after growing up in his family. But he's invited to be a teacher at a new school that is on an island, an artificial island off Japan, by quite a ways. And it's an island that is full of yokai, and the school is for yokai. And he only finds this out when he gets there and walks into the classroom to find one of the students being suplexed by a guy with cat ears. All these monsters hanging around in the air and in the desks. They are. It's fun to watch because the principal doesn't want him to leave because he's doing the guy a favor for being on good relationship with his father. And it turns out the reason that they selected him is because his father runs a shrine and is an exorcist. And this poor guy actually is even stronger
He's
than his father.
Spiritual powers.
Yes, but doesn't know it. He just has no idea yet. And the idea would be that having a guy that it can exorcise yokai, or at least seal their spirit energy, would make for a great person to discipline all the rowdy yokai students. Except he's a coward and doesn't know about his own powers. And I am loving the fact that this is genuinely built for the comedy. While they have like the cute girl characters, they're not fan service in the slightest. Even the one they concentrate on in the early show is a Zashiki Warashiki, a good luck spirit, or a luck spirit in general. She accidentally turned into a NEET after becoming addicted to video games. And so he goes to her house. He goes to her house to figure out if he can get her to come to school and be part of the school photo and, attend classes with them again. And yes, he convinces her by being, just being a nice guy. But when she comes in, as Zashiki Warashiki legends go, she's wearing a red hoodie. And when a Zashiki Warashiki wears red, they bring bad luck, not good luck.
Do they tell you that in the show? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yes. Cool.
They have a thing which is like yokai for dummies.
Nice.
Yes, that will pop open. Yes, which is great. But but this is on top of the fact that they've actually got a genuine bad luck spirit guy in the classroom as well. So he's getting double bad luck from just being exposed to these two.
Wait, which one's the general bad luck spirit?
Oh, the blonde head dude. The one that's always together and seems very powerful.
Okay.
And is really good friends with the mini Tanuki. They have this. So they have a Tanuki boy who is actually a small breed of Tanuki and can't transform very well. And this is the one where Tanuki in general put a little leaf on their forehead to transform. apparently this type of yokai put its nutsack upon its head to transform. And this is not the case. In this case, he puts any kind of sack. He actually puts a plastic bag on his head to transform now, just to stop it from being so gross, which is kind of fun. But he's not a very intelligent young boy and is more the mascot for everybody else.
Is this the blonde kid you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, it is. But I love that some of the characters are great. They have one of the teachers as a classic Oni, who, if he drinks, will gain all the spiritual power that he needs. They even explain
the different
types of. Yeah, that's an Oni. The ogres are Onis.
I thought Oni was a different classification.
Like this guy. No, they're all it's a generic thing. Oni are the class of things, but the ogre type that he is the one that gains the spiritual power from drinking. Yes. Okay.
So all ogres are Onis, but not all Onis are ogres.
Yeah.
Yes. But the problem is with him that he's just a terrible drunk. So if he drinks, he goes on a rampage, which is hilarious to watch.
His colleagues do everything within his power to prevent him from drinking.
Yes, they do. They're like sitting on a get to know you kind of thing on their when they bring the new teacher in, and he's pouring himself some sake, and one of the other teachers just sat there taking the sake cups away. Every time he pours one, it's like, nope, mine. It just takes it away from him. And then when he tries to distract him, so he like creeps his hand over to take one, it's like, no. I think my favourite bit though is that they did a health day, student health day, and they took the Tanuki and the Nikomata characters into the doctor's office to have their assessment, and they had them walk into a cage which suppressed their ability to transform. They even did this for one of the teachers. They all transformed back into their base animal form, and they had a vet ready to give them shots.
Oh my god!
And even the very serious teacher, the one that's like taking the sake cups away, turns out he's actually a Kamaitachi, one of the wind weasels with the sickle arms, and so they put him in the cage as well.
Yeah.
But then again, there are some rather silly ideas, like they had to measure the giant student.
Oh, that pissed me off.
And they had him climb the student like a rock climber.
Yeah. When
you could have just said, like, pick him up.
Yeah. No. Nasuth, just like as the giant, pick him up and put him on your head with the tape measure.
Yes.
Right? Instead of like the poor fucking teacher having to fucking scale this guy like a cliff.
Yeah. Genuinely. Like with rope and hand over hand pulling himself up.
Yeah, there's so many better ways to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm kind of half thinking that was just a thing to try and get him into the stupid situation where he could be scared. But still, it's aside from that, it is hilarious. I'm loving watching it. I love the characterization of the characters. I love the way they're exploring some more of the yokai lore that normally wouldn't be. So that, you know, like one of the kids is a mud demon, and when he falls into a pool full of corrupt liquid, he comes out of it blonde and handsome because he's been corrupted by this this pool of sludge.
Oh my god.
So, wait, a mud demon dissolving in water? No, that's not going to happen. And he comes out the other side.
Right. Should we move on to my last one?
Well, what's your opinion on this show before we leave?
I'm not going to continue it. I do think that there's a lot of high production value in this show, but I think I'm nowhere near the target demographic, and
a little too madcap, a little too zany.
It's more a case of too many characters are just one note, and it's just like you know, I'm just like, we're just gonna spend like the entire season learning about all the different characters,
sitcom.
but we're still but we're still stuck with the one-note teachers, and it's just like, I don't know.
When they are putting some characterization into some of them, and that characterization is good, like with our bad luck character, the blonde boy. He's actually gaining a bit more personality as time goes on.
Yeah, but the teacher though, he's just so like, I'm scared of this. Anyway,
until you give him the opportunity to have uniforms.
Moving on.
So that was monster school teacher something or other.
Terrified teacher at ghoul school.
That one.
Yeah, because that's how it translates. Right. So moving on to my last one. Right. My last one is Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. Jeez.
Do you remember what you gave the first one? Probably not.
I'm pretty sure I gave it in the must-watch. I'm pretty sure I gave it in the must-watch category. I'm gonna say... I don't know. I really don't know. This is so difficult.
Has it at least maintained the quality?
I don't know. It's so difficult. I'm gonna give it a must-watch 2-star. Right. So
there we go.
This is a difficult one to review because first off, you need to watch Shangri-La Frontier Season 1. Now, one of the best aspects of Shangri-La Frontier is that it portrays gamers so accurately. Gamers are so singular focused as a hobby that it kind of shows in the portrayal of the characters from the first season and the second season. Like they don't want to do stuff that's not the fun stuff that they want to do. That makes sense? And they will happily sacrifice anything because they think they can just get away with it. Right? It's just like, I don't need to deal with this thing. I'm going to ignore it. And one of the best parts of this is the fact that our main character, Sunrock? I can't remember his name. When he started off the game, he did his stereotypical, I've played so many Soulsborne games, I'm not going to follow the beaten path, I'm not going to do the tutorial, and ultimately ended up kind of, instead of doing the tutorial and being bored talking to NPCs, he decided, you know what, I'm just going to grind some monsters, right? And after playing Xenozone Zero recently, I kind of feel that I'd rather not talk to you. I'd rather just go smash shit. So I kind of get where
a few other gamers have said that about ZZZ, but not in that context.
Yeah. So I kind of find it a bit refreshing the fact that we have a video game narrative where gamers are being gamers, right? Now, I wouldn't say a whole lot has happened in the first 3 episodes of Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. And it is getting to cores straight away, right? So we're getting this until spring. You know, we've got it for autumn 2024. So it's going to continue through to winter 2025. And then, then it stops. Who knows if we'll get a 3rd season, but I do like a lot of the stupidity. Also, the logic behind how unique monsters work. So, in early days of World of Warcraft, unique monsters would appear like once a month, kind of thing. They were like really, really rare. So, if you wanted to encounter this thing, you bloody had to be hunting it like there was no tomorrow. And they kind of approach this, the fact that there are monsters that they are trying to hunt down and stuff, or other clans are trying to hunt down these monsters. But thus far, there's only been one sighting of this unique monster, that's this wolf, that has killed Roku. I think. God damn, I can't remember his name.
Birdman.
It's driving me nuts. Birdman, and he because he has been cursed, he can't wear any armor that isn't on his head. So he can't wear any feet, he can't wear any trousers, he can't wear any chest armor, pauldrons. He can only wear something on his head, and that's why he has the bird mask on, right? Sometimes he'll be seen walking around the streets wearing a ghost costume, but that's because it's a head item and it covers the rest of his body. That's like the only thing he can thus far wear that will actually sort of hide his identity from everyone else.
Right.
It's a really interesting premise, but it could just turn into meetings in a gazebo. And I'm like, oh, this is really concerning. I like this. I think there is a powerful niche that this cuts into, and it does a really, really good job. I don't think it's going to be for everyone. I don't think, Nasuth, you liked it at all.
No, I liked it. It wasn't for me. Like, I could see the quality. I could understand the humor, but it just, I made it to the Rabbit Kingdom, and I was just kind of like,
that's really early on.
It's
really early on.
It's after the wolf.
The wolf's like episode 1.
No. The wolf is like episode 3.
No, really?
Yep.
No.
Yep. Rabbit Kingdom's like episode 6, I think.
I remember you binged most of this, so that would blur together a bit.
Yeah. You have to remember that season 1 was 2 cores, so.
Yeah, I do. I remember that. I do remember that.
But it just I just didn't. I don't like MMOs, so all that stuff just didn't catch me in any meaningful way.
I mean, let's be fair. The very fact that these are acting like gamers instead of Sword Art Online's. Oh no, he's a beta player and he's a cheater. That makes him a beta.
Oh my god. I did like the fact that he
nobody
purposely plays terrible games. So like that was really cool. Like there's a lot of stuff to like there. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah. That's fair.
Indeed.
But yeah, I really like the series. There you go. So this is him wearing the costume. And again, one of the cool. Oh, so one cool thing that we did see in season 1 that they are like heavily dragging into season 2 is the fact that effectively they ended up killing a raid level monster, right? So basically something that's supposed to take like 40 people to do. They ended up doing it this like really clever hacky way. They are the first people to ever kill it. No one else can now do this. It is permanently dead, right? And you see from the perspective of the company running Shangri-La Frontier as like, finally, the world's story has now progressed a point. It tells everyone in the game that the world's story has actually finally progressed. And like, no one has seen this message ever before. So clearly, the world's story has never progressed before until our motley crew. So,
nice.
Yep, I enjoy it. I think it's done fun.
All right, Shangri-La Frontier season 2.
Yep.
Nasuth, tell us your last.
Yeah, my final. So I'm down 2 shows now 3 shows because I dropped 1, and then Lockdown Zone Level X and Uzumaki are already finished. Uzumaki only had 4 episodes. But that is my final one. We are doing Uzumaki Spiral into Horror, which, as anyone knows, is a Junji Ito production. Now, I've seen online, people have been saying that the animation quality drops severely after episode 1. I don't know.
It does.
I don't agree. Maybe it's because I was so caught up in the story, but it consistently felt to me like a manga that was on screen, that was like animated and not like just your typical anime. From beginning to end, it felt that way to me.
I've seen like the studio's gone on record to say like we could not keep up with the production of episodes 2, 3, and 4 at the same quality as episode 1. We had the choices of cancelling the production altogether, only releasing episode 1, or releasing episodes 2, 3, and 4 at a lower production quality than episode 1. And that's what they opted to do.
Well, it wasn't low enough to distract me from what was going on, to the point that I'm still giving this a 5-star must watch, and you can't change my mind. This is absolute cinema.
Can I highlight something? Right?
Sure.
So with Junji Ito stuff, you have to go in
knowing it's gonna be fucked up.
Wanting to be fucked up psychologically afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't your standard show for everyone. It will make your skin fucking crawl. There's
an argument to be made that art should be challenging, and good art challenges you, and this will 100% challenge you.
Absolutely.
Excellent use of the music or the lack thereof to build tension. I mean, I'm not kidding. The music is great. It's like Zeno said, it's really not afraid to go into super freaky places. Super freaky places. Looks just like a moving manga. And I love the whole cursed town aspect like you'd get in something like Silent Hill or Siren or a lot of other like Japanese mythology where there's just something wrong with the land. And you do find out what it is in Spiral, but I don't want to say because I almost hate that bit. I almost hate that they explain it. But almost. Not enough, because it's still 5-star. Maybe I'm just a Junji Ito fanboy, quite possibly, but man, the tension that they built, the freaky, like every time the show ended, I was like, oh my god, I gotta watch the next one. I gotta see what's going on. I loved our characters. I loved the way they depicted some of the horrific stuff. Like maybe they skimped on some of the animation, but man, when it counted, they were there for it. They were there to make sure it looked freaky. Yeah, maybe the black and white style, like again, made it seem like an actual manga coming off the page and onto the screen. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, there's not really much it's only 4 episodes, so there's not much to say unless I go deep into like the story details.
Wait, are they full-length episodes or are they short episodes?
They're full-length episodes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it only really needs, like, this isn't a case like Housing Complex C, where it seemed like they cut it off too early. No, this feels 4 episodes is really all you need. It's not a long story in the first place. But yeah, essentially everything just starts, people start going crazy and seeing spirals everywhere, and then they start turning into spirals, and then like get freaky body horror with people turning into snails and other people wanting to eat the snails that were once people, and it's just it's crazy. And you just don't get that often in anime. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
Oh my god!
Slightly cursed notes.
We finished, and it's not even 3 hours. Well, it's going to be 3 hours by the time we finish everything else.
Right. But, so moving on to the supporter questions. Right. So Zrugal asks, "What do you call a group of men waiting for a haircut?" A barbecue. Well, Jesus Christ.
Hey.
Oh my god. Right. Zrugal asks, why is there a Batman shampoo but not a conditioner Gordon? Oh my god.
It's the spookiest of supporter questions. A pun off.
Next, oh my god, you're asking. Okay, Super Kami Thaithe asks, did you know that you shouldn't trust stairs? They're always up to something. Oh my god, is this all this is? An interesting news story was about. Okay, an interesting news story was about a Swedish runner that ran from
Songis.
Sangis to Tornio.
Yeah, to Tornio. Just so he could cross the finish line.
Finish with 2 N's.
Finish line.
Yeah,
Finish line.
Yeah.
Everyone gets it. Coffee, you are what you drink, asks, did you notice the bad puns? No, maybe you should get yourself a punnery.
To a punnery.
Oh my god.
It's so there's an old Shakespeare quote. It's like, get thee to a nunnery. I think it's from Hamlet?
Did you know why you
I
don't
know.
see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it.
It's true. They are really good at hiding in trees.
Okay. Moving on to the comments from last week. First of all, we have the comments from the news. So Zrugal says, that was an adorable cat plush.
That
was Thaylien's cat plush.
That was a gift to a friend. So unfortunately, it's not back for the Halloween episode.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I'm curious about the new Digimon. I assume you'll keep us up to date. Updated even. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Thaylien, for reminding me about the names of the Nine-Tailed Fox and Giant Toad. It's been a long time since I've seen any Naruto. Yes. No rumors this week? Scandalous. To be fair, I think it was a pretty dry week. I can't remember. Right, so moving on to the comments from the cast. Ricky says, something really cool, Thaylien said.
Thaylien said to comment something really cool.
Something really cool.
Okay, right. Strong Butter says, this was a long one, but it was a good listen for a busy Friday. Thanks for the entertainment and making my day a little faster.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I require more game shows. Those are fun. I look forward to the 3-episode review next week. See if we didn't do the 3-episode review today.
Yeah.
Strong Butter would have been so angry.
Yeah, all right.
There is plans for more game shows. We're not sure which one we're going to do yet.
Yeah, I still need to finish sorting that out. Zrugal says, I don't think you only read really cool comments. You read out my comments all the time.
Zrugal, your comments are cool.
Zrugal.
Bad.
Yes.
Don't. Self-deprecation.
Take your brain out and convince it that you are cool, and then put it back in.
I don't watch enough anime to come up with those top 3 of multiple categories. I just gonna sit here and just comment about which shows I really like. But since this is a top 3, that probably doesn't mean as much. Totally agree with you guys. Are picking great shows. So totally agree that you guys are picking great shows.
Thank you.
Despite Xeno's complaining, I know I liked Reborn as a Vending Machine in Another World. I thought it was entertaining. Okay, not great or amazing, but Also, I kind of think vending machines are cool.
I mean, mechanically, yeah. The ideas behind them are actually pretty interesting.
Okay. I watched that movie, Makia, When the Promised Flower Blooms, that Viper mentioned a few weeks ago. The one I said I had on my watch list, but never got to. But when I did, I'd update you guys. It was sad. Anyway. No, I'm joking. It was a really powerful movie that made me think about life and how precious it is to treasure the small few moments we have with those we love. It kind of reminds me of Freerun in that way.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
Need to make time to watch that as well. Now it's time. Oh, God.
For Vino to be very sleepy.
Now it's time.
It's not even that late, Zeno. We have done that savings, and we actually got extra time in bed. Why are you like this?
Because it's this time of year when I get so sleepy.
It is hibernation time.
I go to sleep at a regular time, and then I wake up at real people times. Right, now it's time for the memes.
Right, so I think Zeno basically said most of the spiel at the beginning of the show, but most of our memes come from Reddit. We collect up to... What? Yeah.
They will be linked down below, archived on our website, so that you guys can find them even if Reddit deletes them.
True.
Oh, random funny. I went through mine to make sure which ones were not safe for work and things, and the first one of mine was deleted already. So it's not even been 24 hours!
Indeed.
We collect up to 6 every week from our Discord users. If you join the Discord, link in the description below, you can find the meme submission channel where you can submit your memes for us to see. We won't see them ahead of time. We'll react to them live on this show. Well, live recorded on the show. And up to 6 a week. This week we only have 3 though, so let's get into those.
Let's see what they are.
But can they defeat Goku? Fans of other anime. Yep.
Just glaring at you.
Yep. Yep.
I love you, Kawasaki. Baka!
Baka! It's a little bit.
Damn it.
Freya and Summer, who gave you the spell? This is Kazuma in the background.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
Yes.
Stark's face. Stark's face.
Yep.
Oh, yes. And of course, Freya would use it on Fern just to try.
Yep.
Right.
Do it.
This.
Music's a bit jarring, but
it's a bit loud, but
too. Right, that's enough of that.
Yes.
Hello, Nagumi from 2.5 Dimensions. Sorry, yes, you know.
I kind of want to give is it Uzumaki? No, it's not a movie, it's a series.
Uma Musume, Pretty Derby. And those are the movies that the animation was from.
Oh, are they?
But yes, but that's been on all of the meme sites. The fact that Blue Lock Season 2 is practically PNG animated. There's like a slide scene where the characters have no shadows, they're moving, and then the football goes kind of like it doesn't even spin.
It's a PowerPoint
There's no reaction.
Oh
it looks like it's animated by literal cutouts that I could do in Photoshop.
Yeah.
I just compare that to, as I say, the meme was meanwhile an anime about horse girls running.
Yeah.
It is epically done.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello Nagumi from 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. Hello Nokatan from my dear friend Nokatan. And it's the threatening face.
Those JoJo faces.
Did you know that cows kill more people a year than sharks?
What the fuck?
Trampling
Obviously,
death.
it's a jetting through the room for no reason, but still.
Yes.
Me into a normal conversation.
Oh.
Anime girl nipples, long hair.
Not wrong.
I love that.
Technically not lewd either.
Now that's a lot of nipples. I mean, what?
A wholesome slice of life anime, gut-punching emotional trauma.
Oh, wow, that's
nice.
Brilliant. What is that from? I gotta know.
I have no idea.
Never know.
And my last one.
What is it? What's going on? I heard a noise. Is somebody downstairs?
Oh, God, Meg, you startled me. I'm sorry.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, what's going on?
Is something wrong?
No. Everything's cool right now. Might be some problems later, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Hello? Peter did what?
Well, I best be getting to work.
It's nighttime.
Boy, you said it. All right, take it easy.
Peter, you get down from that tree this instant.
No, you're gonna yell at me.
You're damn right I'm gonna yell at you. You beat up a 13-year-old boy.
He called me names.
You're 43 and you just assaulted our neighbor's child. This is a very...
Okay, there you go.
That was the one, Nasuth, that... you know, I finally found a good video meme, and I checked, and you already had it. I'm like, God damn it!
All right.
My sixth one actually requires some reading, but the rest of them are okay.
Wow, you've got 4 video memes this week. All right.
Oh shit, he does.
Is it not?
Yep.
Are there any bugs out there that can walk upright?
Oh my god.
Follow-up question. Do any of them have their own theme music?
Brilliant.
My favorite isekai manga has got to be the Bible, or as I like to call it, God reborn in another world.
Oh my god!
As a carpenter?
Okay, that really tickled me. Oh no!
Oh god! Oh god!
I've seen this one before.
God!
I still love it, but I've seen this one before.
So clever.
No.
Oh, I love him. I showed him my spiral. Answer me. It's Junji Ito.
Ah.
And for my last one, needs a bit of reading.
I
was given a second life by some god and blessed to be reincarnated in any manga I wanted, even offered a wholesome and fulfilling life with one of my waifus, after being betrayed in a dystopian world ruled by the author of a new manga titled The 100 Losing Heroines Who Really Suffer. I denied the offer, chose to be reincarnated in that manga instead, reject its reality, and with my whole being make every single and each one of the fated losing heroines happy.
The fuck?
Okay.
That's a title. That is fire.
Okay. Moving on to mine.
Still not the same as the Bible.
The 7 deadly sins. There is another. Blue Lock
Oh
season
my
2.
god. What is going on there?
Yep.
Such weird animation.
Xeno's next 3 are very spicy. I'm going to assume very spicy.
I can't remember how very spicy. Spicy enough. Warning.
It's either mild or Diablo.
Touch the cow. Do it now. Touch the cow. Do it now.
No.
Don't do it, little dog boy.
How did I suddenly stumble into furry porn?
You watch anime. That's
I forgot why I put that one on there. I remember.
No.
Yep. Oh god, this one.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. This is the cat you want. This is the cat I want. We are not the same.
Yep.
Yep.
I know which one I want.
Yep.
Turns out it's this one.
Yep. There you go.
What? Why? I don't...
It's the face.
It's just the face.
Remember in Freerun when she holds up the bottle and
she did do that face.
She did.
That is a thing she did do.
That face.
And anime girls are cats.
It's true.
So.
It's also true.
Right. That is it for this week's episode of Kanpai Cast. Next week we are stealing an idea that I saw on Trash Taste. I thought, hey, this would be fun. Though there'll be a link. So there'll be a discussion in Discord. There'll probably be a link in the description below. And it's like, you know, your hypothetical what if scenarios that we will go through on the next week's episode. Right. So that is it for this week. Thank you very much, everyone.
iCast audience participation.
Oh my God. Anyway, Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you all for watching and or listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai! I
Spooky
still have some
Kanpai.
left over.